You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning, 4 o'clock on the dot right now. Fox 17 News following the breaking news overnight. 2 mass shootings in Maine leave 22 people dead, dozens more injured. The suspect right now still on the run.
Manhunt comes to an neighbors say they saw.
And the forecast here is getting very warm one more time before a big push to cooler air. What it means for your Halloween and then leading into next week coming up in your Code Red forecast.
Very good Thursday morning to you. Thanks for starting your day with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
I'm Megan O'Haller, and a lot of breaking news overnight that we want to get to.
Several mass shootings across Maine. This is in Lewiston, which is just north of Portland, Maine. We have 22 people dead and dozens more injured.
Well, this morning, police are searching for Robert Card, who authorities named as a person of interest, citing Card's background as a trained firearms instructor. Fox News' Matt Napolitano reports.
Mass casualties and dozens of injuries in the city of Lewiston, Maine, roughly 35 miles north of Portland. This after a series of mass shootings across multiple locations, including a bar and a bowling alley Wednesday night. Law enforcement telling residents and businesses to lock their doors and shelter in place, releasing these photos of an alleged gunman.
Robert R. Card. Card is considered armed and dangerous. He is a person of interest, however. A vehicle, which was a vehicle of interest in this incident, was located in Lisbon, and we are now also asking residents in Lisbon to shelter in place.
Early reports cited a possible third shooting at a Walmart distribution center, but in a statement, Walmart said a shooting did not occur on their property.
Everything needs to be unturned. Every stone needs to be looked under. Every inch of the shooting needs to be looked at.
The FBI is assisting Maine State Police with the investigation.
We have literally hundreds of police officers working around the state of Maine.
When there's an active shooter event, a mass casualty such as this tragedy, there are all hands on deck. You've got multiple law enforcement agencies, locally, federally. Everyone has a different role and responsibility.
Lewiston Public Schools superintendent canceling classes Thursday. The U.S. Attorney General and the White House have been briefed on the shooting.
My insides are just really sick over this. This is an overwhelming situation.
President Biden telling Maine's governor and senators the state has the full support of the federal government as the investigation continues. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
And you can count on Fox 17 News to keep you updated on the story throughout the course of the morning. So anything that comes in, we'll bring it to you as it happens right here through 9. Right now, welcome back to our meteorologist, Greg Bobus. How's it going, Greg?
Going well for now. I mean, if you've enjoyed the warmer temperatures and the pretty easy end to October, get ready for it. It's coming. Look at your screen. Yeah, widespread frost. So maybe you've got some mums that are still out there. Or any kind of vegetation you've been keeping, due diligence, keeping it all alive and taking care of it. This is the time to start talking about real plant safety if you want to keep these alive moving into the middle of next week. It's only 3 days and then we get warmer. However, those 3 days could do a lot of damage real quick. Monday, which would be the day before All Hallows Eve, we're going to have low temperatures between 40 and 51 degrees. Not so dangerous. Chance of frost, a little. Taking a look, though, at Tuesday and Wednesday, our chance for frost, it's almost a guarantee in many areas. Lows will be between 31 degrees and 37, and then 25 and 31. Coming up in the next check of your forecast, we got a deep dive into this, look at Halloween, what it means for costumes, and then talk about a full moon. We've got so many things that are happening here in the upcoming days.
Greg, thanks. 404 right now. Steer clear traffic looking good. Nice and early here to start your Thursday. Live look by the airport. No traffic yet over there, which is good news. So if you've had an early flight or maybe you've got to pick somebody up later this morning, looking good at least right now. I-40 also very quiet. We don't even have any cars coming toward us from, say, Wilson County into Nashville. So all's quiet on the home front. You've got the green light to get out and go.
404 right now in Operation Crime and Justice. We are hearing from neighbors about what they saw after a multi-day manhunt finally comes to an end. The suspect now dead.
Yeah, we have the Nashville police chief's estranged son who was wanted for shooting 2 Laverne police officers earlier this week. So we've been following the story for you since then. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joining us live this morning to get us updated. She's at the Metro Nashville Police headquarters.
Yeah, a dramatic night for an Edge Hill community after neighbors said that they heard SWAT team officers trying to negotiate with John Drake Jr., but police said that he later shot himself. Now we're going to show you some of that video that neighbors got earlier in the night. Now, Drake Jr. had been involved in a carjacking earlier in the night, making it to the Edge Hill neighborhood where he crashed into another car. Here you can see him get out of the car and start running. He stopped in the backyard, though, of a home in the 1400 block of 15th Ave South, where he hid in a shed behind the home. This was all before officers recall hearing one gunshot in the direction of the shed. Those who live nearby tell us as this was happening, there were dozens of police cars swarming the block.
I don't know what to think. I said I didn't think it'd be this close to home.
Some of the neighbors tell Fox 17 News that police made them evacuate their homes for a church across the street due to safety purposes. Now, as for Chief Drake, he says that he is heartbroken by the outcome of his estranged son's death. Now, we also have his full statement on our website, fox17.com, along with interviews in the days leading up to all of this. In Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
People still trying to wrap their heads around that. Thank you, Kylie. Still to come, a bizarre situation for a mid-state woman after a funeral home mixed her grandfather's casket up with another man.
Yeah, what a story there. Plus a warning about a fake fire inspector, the man who is accused of scamming businesses in the mid-state, where he's popped up, and what to do if you should encounter him. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Operation Crime and Justice right now. A man faces vehicular homicide charges after a deadly crash in Hermitage. Police say 35-year-old Jason Treat had been driving drunk Saturday when he did not yield at a flashing yellow light near a Target store in Donaldson and ended up being hit by another car. Well, his girlfriend, 35-year-old Vanessa Schmidt, a passenger in his car, died in that crash. Treat, by the way, has 2 previous DUI convictions. He is also charged with having a gun while intoxicated.
Making news out of Mount Juliet, a woman goes to a funeral home to honor her grandfather. Huge problem, though. Her grandfather's body ended up being switched up with another man who is actually buried in another state.
How does this happen?
A lot of questions, right?
For sure. Well, police say these 2 men had been transported and embalmed before the grandfather was mistakenly taken to a Kentucky funeral home and buried there 2 days later. Still working to find out what exactly led up to all this, who's going to be held responsible,
right,
and what's being done to rectify this mix-up. During drought conditions here in the mid-state, we have a water provider right now in Franklin asking you to please be careful with how much water you use. The Franklin Water Management Department serving about 19,000 people, and they're suggesting that you only water your plants in the early morning or after the sun goes down. They're saying to check all your pipes and hoses for any leaks. Wash your cars only if you have to at home, or maybe take it to a car wash down the street to save water at your home. Interesting. That's the kind of thing we would used to, do out in Arizona.
Yeah, right. It's kind of unusual to see this year, Greg. Right? Give us the official meteorological check on that.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I was actually making notes and wasn't listening to you.
I mean, you just told on yourself. You could have played that off.
Greg's still in vacay mode.
Yeah. No, I'm in catch-up mode right now. I wish I had ketchup in a burger right now, to be completely honest. I did promise you something. I'm going to always be honest here on here with you.
Yeah. I mean, you could have totally played that off, right? Just like, yeah, whatever you guys say.
It is 4:11.
Yeah.
I would rather be honest because we're all waking up together here on a baby Friday. This is what I promised you, though. Take a look here. 82 Saturday, 48 Tuesday. High temperatures.
It's a big swing.
It's a big roller coaster swing. It totally is. Taking a look here. We've got a lot of things coming your way when it comes to 80 today, 82 degrees tomorrow, 75 going into Sunday. And unfortunately, A cold front moves in Sunday into Monday, and our temperatures are going to be right near 50 degrees. Taking a look, Halloween forecast, early evening will be in the middle 40s. I have your 7-day forecast. I've just updated Future Track, and we'll look at your Friday night football coming up the next time you see me right here on Fox 17 News this morning.
Pay attention this time.
What's the high temperature today?
82.
No.
No, that's I failed the Fox 17 fact check.
We're all in this together. All in it together. All right, 412 right now. Live look at steer clear traffic. I-24 at Almaville Road. Looking really good. So quiet this morning. I'm getting a quick check here with TDOT, and I don't see any reports of crashes or anything on all, any of our mid-state interstates. So that's the great news here, especially early on a Thursday. You are all clear to get out and go.
412 on your Thursday morning. State officials warning mid-state businesses and residents about a man who is not a fire inspector, but is actually claiming to be.
All right, let's take a look here because we do have some still shots of the guy in question. The Tennessee State Fire Marshal's office says this man has gone into businesses claiming that he needs to inspect the fire suppression system, but he does not have a license to do that. They say this so-called fake inspector has shown up in Tullahoma and McMinnville for sure.
Well, if you know anything about his activities or if you recognize this guy, you're asked to call 615-532-6391 or call local law enforcement.
Tennessee is now suing the federal government. The rule that our attorney general says blocks millions of dollars worth of money.
Friday's One News. Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti suing the federal government over an abortion rule that's blocking millions of dollars in family planning funding.
Yeah, this is interesting. Our Attorney General here for Tennessee filing the lawsuit this week in Knoxville, the district court there. Now, federal rules require clinics to give abortion referrals, but abortion, of course, banned here in Tennessee. So the state bars clinics from providing that information. The money that's in question here comes from the federal family planning program called Title X. The Department of Health and Human Services told Tennessee leaders back in March that the state could not receive that money.
Well, the complaint is asking a federal judge to reinstate the Title X money and rule that the HHS cannot withhold funds because of a state's abortion ban. We'll, of course, follow this story as it develops.
And right now, American officials say they are going to push back against Iran if groups supported by that country keep attacking American military personnel overseas. We have at least 24 Americans who have been hurt so far.
Well, all of this happening amid the mayhem that continues to unfold between Israel and Hamas. Sinclair Chief Political Correspondent Scott Thuman shows us what's at stake.
For the White House, no time to mince words.
My warning to the Ayatollah was that if they continue to move against those troops, we will respond, and he should be prepared.
President Biden, in light of news that 24 American military personnel have been wounded in a series of drone strikes on U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria, the Pentagon saying the attacks were supported by Iran.
We do not want this war to widen. But if Iran or its proxies attack U.S. personnel anywhere, make no mistake, we will defend our people, we will defend our security swiftly and decisively.
Iran's exact role in the Israeli-Gaza war is still being determined, but many see them either as participants or at the very least proponents, and now taking advantage of the chaos to go after Americans too. While the president's sending F-16 fighter jets to help deter more attacks on Americans, critics wonder if the administration has done enough to keep Iran in check, pointing to Biden recently unfreezing $6 billion in Iranian assets that have since been blocked again.
Enforce the sanctions. They should be able to sell oil. Number two, stop giving them money. Make sure the $6 billion never gets there. Okay. And number three, then what's the next step it's going to take? Do we have to destroy all their oil fields? Do we have to destroy their nuclear facilities?
Now reports indicate there are red lights flashing everywhere. But analysts say Iran is walking a tightrope, aware if it pushes too hard or begins a wider war, it could trigger a direct fight with Israel and the U.S.
Complicating matters more is China, which has been strengthening its ties with Iran, but both nations face global sanctions and can only push so far or risk more economic turmoil. In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
Scott, thank you. Let's get you updated on Otis, weakening to below tropical depression strength now, but boy, did it hit southern Mexico. We're talking about Acapulco. When it hit Acapulco here, it was a Category 5 hurricane early yesterday, and the latest reports coming in are that Acapulco is just not the same and may never be the same. Forecasters noting just how quickly Otis intensified. You know, this thing just really blew up quickly, went from a tropical storm to a powerful Category 5 in 12 hours. Experts describe it as the strongest storm in history to make landfall along the eastern Pacific coast.
Wow, that's tough to look at the radar there, the images, Greg.
It just looks mean.
Yes.
You know, there are certain storms that just look like you stare at the thing and you know that when it finally gets there, we're going to be seeing stuff like that. And that's the thing with weather is our story is so quickly moving that it comes in, it moves out within a day or two, and then the cleanup is years.
Of course. And we're just, 4 days left in hurricane season?
Yeah, well, no, yeah.
November 1?
Close to the end.
No, well, here's I'm going to give you, that's a great question.
I'm from Florida.
So you know what?
She knows the routine.
Why not go all the way through? That's my first graphic. It's like you're reading my mind here this morning.
See, I'm paying attention.
See? I promise you that I will listen to every word you say for the rest of the morning. Taking a look at hurricane season.
Now it's going to be a game.
Getting into November is the end of hurricane season for us here, so keep that in mind. What does a Category 5 mean when it comes to wind speed? And this is what it is. We're talking about 157 mile per hour wind speeds right in that little heart of the system. And when a hurricane moves in, the top right-hand side of the hurricane always has the worst of the wind when it moves into the area. So when you watch these storms make landfall, like this one did, the top right-hand side of that hurricane directly impacted Mexico. That's why we're seeing everything that we're seeing. I talked about ups and downs in temperature. Here is that 7-day forecast. 80 degrees for your Thursday, 80 on Friday, 82 on Saturday. We keep it rolling. Then right behind me, look at the difference. 52 on Monday, 48 degrees on Tuesday. That is Halloween. Y'all, it's gonna be right near 40 degrees near trick or treat time. Rain. Will it be out of here in time for trick or treat? We'll talk about that coming up in a couple minutes.
Alrighty, Greg, thank you very much. 421. Let's get into steer clear traffic. This is I-65 at Moores Lane. We've got a pretty steady flow of traffic coming in here this morning. No backups in this area. Checking the rest of the midstate, and it looks like whether you're coming in from Mount Juliet or Bellevue, maybe up in Clarksville or White House, you all have the green light. Interstate's looking good.
To a good start there on this Thursday morning. Still to come, the Titans wondering who will be the next quarterback for the next game.
Alert.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 423, let's talk sports, shall we? Specifically the Titans, fresh off their bye week. All right, we've had some time to get rested up, getting ready to host the Falcons this Sunday here at home. And the biggest question going into this game is who's going to be the starting quarterback?
Got some options here. Ryan Tannehill says his right ankle sprain is trending in the right direction, but he also didn't practice yesterday. So that leaves the backups, QBs Malik Willis and Will Levis. Coach Vrabel says he's not going to name the starter just yet. So a lot of speculation there.
I never said that Will was going to be the starter. Both of them will play if Ryan can't. We'll see how Ryan feels. He may do a little bit of work later in practice today. But that's how we are. That's where we're at right now. I think just getting more comfortable. I think both those guys got good work in, really good work. And whether it was third down or 2-minute red zone, some of the stuff that we were able to cover last week.
You know, when he just mentioned he never said that Will Levis was going to start, I think what he's referring to is Ian Rappaport, who went on Twitter yesterday and said that,
tried to get ahead of it,
said that he was going to start. So the coach kind of putting that to rest.
Clarification.
Yes. More sports headlines now. Baseball.
You may have watched the ALCS between the Astros and the Rangers right here on Fox 17. And if you did, you saw Dusty Baker's final game as an MLB manager. The Astros skipper announced yesterday that he would be retiring after a 26-year career as a manager. Baker has the most playoff wins in Astros franchise history and helped lead the club to the World Series title in 2022, his first as a manager. Go out on top.
And somehow survived all the controversy, too.
Oh.
With the cheating scandal, right?
Banging on a trash can. That's all I'll say. Taking a look at this is the real big story here back home right now. We need rain. We need a lot of it. This is our drought monitor from last Thursday. Now, if you stick with us through 9 a.m., we're going to get a brand new update of this that will turn over and show us what the drought looks like right now. I anticipate it looking worse. This will come out right around 8 a.m. So we're going to continue to watch that for you. But what I will tell you when it comes to the numbers, they don't look good. However, a very, very aggressive cold front moves closer and closer to us. It's not going to get here until we make it into Sunday night and Monday. Rain chances try to move in for tomorrow. Don't expect a lot of rain. Maybe you get a shower. Same with Saturday, not a whole lot. And then going into Sunday, we'll dry out. A little bit cooler on Sunday, but upper 80s here taking us into today, tomorrow, and Saturday. We'll talk about that rain in your 7 days as we go into 4:30.
All right, Greg, we'll see you then. Thank you very much. Steer clear traffic now. Taking a look at I-40 at White Bridge Road. All right, Megan, let's count them. We got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tractor trailers that we can see. These are all truckers who are sleeping.
Yep.
They pull over. Look how wide that shoulder is right there. So they pull over to the shoulder to get a little nap. And you'll notice they're in both directions of I-40 at White Bridge.
It's kind of that time of the morning,
It
right?
really is. Yeah, they've done an overnight nap, and they'll get up and get on their way here soon. As you can see, it's a very quiet commute here on I-40 west of Nashville this morning. Alrighty, Megan was just telling us about some Astros news. Let's talk Rangers and Diamondbacks. They are facing off in the World Series. Game 1 is tomorrow. Now, both of these teams have gone decades without a World Series win, but you can watch them match up Game 1 right here on Fox 17 starting at 6 p.m. our time tomorrow. We'll have the series as it goes through. And don't forget, after the game tomorrow night, we've got our Football Frenzy Live highlight show, and then we've got Fox 17 News, our late edition after the game.
Coming up, neighbors recall the end of a multi-day manhunt. Those details after the break.
Decision. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, we start with breaking news overnight. 2 mass shootings, killing and injuring dozens of people in Maine. The suspects still on the run.
Nothing happening right now here in Nashville, but by the time we get out of the weekend into next week, our biggest cold front of the season, what nights we can see frost and freeze in your forecast.
And we're taking you all around the mid-state early here on your Thursday. This is a live look, I-65, where it merges with 24. Coming on into downtown, no issues here to start your Baby Friday, Friday Junior, Friday Eve, whatever you like to call it.
They all work.
We're here for it, and glad to be here for you to kick off Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
I'm Megan O'Halloran. 4:30 on your Thursday. Breaking news, the search for the suspect accused in a mass shooting in multiple locations in Maine. Authorities say at least 22 people are dead, dozens of others injured last night. Neighbors have been advised to shelter in place.
Yeah, you know, there were a lot of reports last night as we were going to bed that perhaps they had tracked down the shooter in Lewiston, Maine, but apparently not the case. They are looking for this man right here. His name is Robert Card, who state officials say is a certified firearms instructor and a member of the U.S. Army Reserves. Authorities say he had recently reported mental health issues and had made threats to shoot up a National Guard base there in Maine. By the way, Lewiston, just north of Portland, Maine.
That's right. The shootings happened at a bar and a bowling alley in Lewiston. The FBI's Boston division says that it's, quote, ready to assist with any available resources.
This is an overwhelming situation. I don't think we've ever had anything like this.
Now, so far, none of the victims have been identified, but to Megan's point, I mean, 22 people dead, and with so many injured in the hospital, just pray that, you know, we don't add to the death toll here, but we will keep you updated throughout the course of the morning as more information comes in.
Turning now to the high cost of homelessness, Hermitage residents urging city leaders to get busy after they say the homeless population started this fire in the woods behind their home.
Metro's Office of Homeless Services telling Fox 17 News the people they moved out of the camps earlier this month need to get fully acclimated to their new living conditions. Metro says it's a very delicate process, getting people out of these homeless camps to which they are accustomed. I mean, you think about it, some of them have been living there for years, right? And then getting them out of there and putting them in temporary housing, the city says can sometimes be traumatic. So they explain that this process, again, is delicate and should not be rushed. But Hermitage neighbors say, no, you know, something has got to be done so they feel safe in their own neighborhood.
Well, looking ahead to country superstar Garth Brooks' brand new opening of his new bar in about a month.
Yeah, let's take a look here as we get ahead of the grand opening of Friends in Low Places. Brooks is releasing a new album. He produced Time Traveler, which will have 10 songs. He'll perform at the grand opening of his bar, which is happening right around Thanksgiving, November 24th.
Looking forward to it. Another namesake bar downtown, right?
Yeah, it just makes you wonder what's next.
Yeah.
I've heard some folks talk that maybe Morgan Wallen was,
oh boy,
maybe
in talks.
talks.
Yeah, he's hot right now. Got to strike while the iron's hot.
You really do, yeah. I mean, this is the time to jump onto one. Luke Combs with. You've got the Wild Horse Saloon.
That's right, yeah.
You've got Chiefs and Eric Church.
That's right. That's supposed to open soon too.
So much turnover here when it comes to all these new honky tonks downtown. No turnover right here on top of the radar. Nothing happening. But I'm going to zoom you out here to the national view because, well, we are definitely going to be seeing a lot of things that are happening moving forward. This is our upcoming weather maker. It's moving slow. I mean, it's chugging along. It will not get here until late Sunday into Monday. So overall, that's what Future Track is showing us. And we're taking a look right here at it and work our way through it. And you can see how the first band kind of really wants to make it here, but that cold front behind it is what's sparking all of this moving in. And yeah, by the time we get into Saturday and Sunday, a few isolated showers can't be ruled out. The good news is the rain moves out just in time for this important day. Now, it will be very cool. We'll talk Halloween, what it'll feel like for the evening hours coming up in the next check of your forecast, but at least we've moved the rain out.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. 4:34 is your time. We're going to take you to another spot here in the Mid-State. We like to take you all around town and just let you know that we're watching out for your neighborhood, keeping an eye on your commute wherever you are. This is I-24 at Waldron. You may remember yesterday morning we had just an awful crash on I-24 out near Rocky Fork Road. No problems here to start your Thursday morning, so that's the good news. You've got a speed limit or better drive coming in on I-24. Right now in Operation Crime and Justice, a dramatic multi-day manhunt comes to an end, and this morning, neighbors are recalling the moments that led up to all of it.
Well, Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joining us live from Metro Nashville Police Headquarters with more, and close ties here too. Kylie?
Yeah, officials say John Jake Jr. is dead after he shot himself. Now, this is Metro Police Chief's estranged son, who was accused of shooting 2 Laverne police officers earlier in the week. Here, SWAT officers tried to negotiate with John Jake Jr., who was hiding in a shed behind a home in Edgehill after he crashed a car that he stole. But officers who surrounded the home reported that they heard a single gunshot coming from the direction of the shed. Now, according to the TBI, Drake Jr. was found dead from what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And neighbors tell Fox 17 News they saw how it all started when Drake Jr. took off running.
I heard a crash. So I looked at my door. I don't open my door at night at all for nobody because it's too dangerous. It's really crazy because I'm still in my house and the police, they knocked on my door, asked me, you okay? I said, yeah.
Neighbors say police had them evacuate to a nearby church for safety purposes. Now, Chief Drake, of course, says that he is heartbroken by the outcome. We have his full statements on our website at fox17.com. In Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Still to come on Fox 17 News this morning, the auto workers strike may be coming to an end for Ford. We'll tell you about the progress being made and the terms of a tentative deal.
Plus, more ethics questions surrounding Justice Clarence Thomas, why House members are pursuing this latest issue.
Get severe weather alerts.
Welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. Happy Thursday to you. We've got a live look right now from the Ryman Auditorium in the heart of downtown Nashville. Thanks to our photojournalist Kevin Munfrey, who's out there this morning giving us the shot. Hey, we got a big show there coming up tonight. Chris Tucker, you might know him from Rush Hour, Fifth Element, actor, comedian. He's going to be at the Ryman live tonight, but he's going to be live on our morning show, joining us coming up in our 8 o'clock hour. So that ought to be fun. Go ahead and set your timer now. Who knows what he's going to do? So we'll join him a little bit later this morning before he heads over to the Ryman tonight. The United Auto Workers Union and Ford have reached a tentative labor deal late last night. We have about 16,000 striking workers who could return to the job within days. That's just at the Ford plants. This deal reportedly gives union workers at Ford an immediate 11% pay raise and then pay hikes starting at 25% over the next 4+ years. This agreement does not go into effect, though, until 57,000 rank and file members at Ford vote to ratify the deal. Now, the UAW, of course, as we've been reporting, has been on strike against all three automakers, Ford, GM, and Stellantis, since September 15th. Megan?
4:40 right now, new ethics questions swirling around Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. An inquiry led by Senate Finance Committee Democrats finds that Thomas did not repay a large portion of a $267,000 loan to purchase a luxury motor coach. Committee members say Justice Thomas needs to show how much was forgiven and whether he paid the taxes that are owed. Thomas and his wife have been scrutinized for accepting significant undisclosed gifts. The justice has not yet publicly responded to that report.
4:41 your time, taking a look at your forecast and Halloween. We are just getting days away here. When it comes to the forecast, we've cooled things down. Now, I always suggest, tight thermal layers underneath the costumes if you can, so we're not having to use the bulky coats. We're going to be in the 40s, mid 40s. Now, overnight, frost and freeze possible, but not during trick-or-treat times. So don't worry about that, but it will definitely be cool. The one thing we have going for us is that we're not going to have any rain in the forecast. And I hope you've got your costume figured out at this point, because we're getting closer and closer. How do you keep track of the forecast on the go when you're with the kids? When you're going up and down the block trying to get that candy bag filled, you can go to Fox 17 Code Red Weather app. You can scan the QR code, go to the App Store, go to the Google Play Store. Oh, and if you want to know what my costume is, I figured it out yesterday. The fiance and I are going as fantasy football.
Like players or?
No, she's going as a unicorn. I'm going as broken Aaron Rodgers.
That's pretty clever. Fantasy football. I wonder how many people are going to be Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce this year.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a trending one for sure.
All right, steer clear traffic. Speaking of traffic, my 13-year-old daughter and her group of friends are all dressing up as traffic signals.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. My daughter's going to be a construction cone. She's got buddies that are going to be stop signs. She's got
cute.
one friend that bought the light up stoplight.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I love group costumes.
I do, too. And we can talk about stuff like this because there's nothing going on in traffic right now. Things are nice and quiet. Briley Parkway and Two Rivers Parkway. This is right over by Opry Mills. Looking good here on your Thursday.
That's what we like to see. Well, coming up, a serious medical issue, the addiction treatment that teenagers have started needing more and more.
Fox 17 News
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. More addiction treatments are needed for young people these days when it comes to overdose deaths, especially when we look at the age group of between 10 and 19, which is just heartbreaking.
The numbers are startling, really. The National Desk, Janae Bowens, explains.
They screamed and they yelled. cried.
Janelle Rodriguez lost her teenage son Noah to a fentanyl overdose last year.
It's not just the bad kids, like it can happen to anybody.
It's a situation that unfortunately is becoming more frequent. According to the CDC, median monthly overdose deaths for 10 to 19-year-old kids and teens increased 109% from July to December 2019 to July to December 2021.
Children, adolescents are going to be experimental, but I think we need to have those tough conversations with children.
Laurel Halleck Kompelman is a family nurse practitioner with a special interest in substance use disorders. She also says more primary care access and providers are needed to prevent future adolescent overdose deaths.
We have about 100 million folks in the U.S. that don't have access to primary care, 160 million who don't have access to mental health care.
She says people, including children and teens, are turning to emergency rooms instead, which is also a part of the problem since the ER isn't focused on mental health treatment.
70% of people that have a substance use disorder will go to the emergency room for their primary treatment. That's what you're seeing in the emergency room. And in primary care, it's about 10% of people that you see overall will have a substance use disorder.
Now, according to Axios, it goes beyond access and the number of primary care doctors. They also say there are not enough people trained or the right people trained to take care of young people with opioid use disorders. In Washington, I'm Janae Bowens.
And right now, looking ahead to tonight's special report, the city of Nashville intensifying its parking enforcement, expanding hours that all the ticketers are working, and increase the number of spaces where you're going to have to pay to park.
Heads up here, you don't want a ticket. Metro adding 583 paid spaces. It's tripling the number of people to give you a ticket if your meter runs out. So enforcement out in full force. If this is a good move for people or not, or you can cash grab or is this a cash grab by the city?
Honestly, I love Nashville, but it's getting
that
greedy. The more people move here, the more expensive everything goes up.
All right, so this is part of our Fox 17 News investigation with Dennis Ferrier. He is on it, and we'll tell you what he has uncovered tonight on Fox 17 News at 9. I'll tell you, the parking in Nashville has become such an issue that people are posting meme videos on social media about it.
Yeah.
Like I saw one guy who said, hey, you want to see how to park for $50 in Nashville? And the video was he drives into a parking garage, pays to park, gets out of the parking garage, realizes he can't get in anywhere, so goes back and gets his car, takes it out. So he paid $50 to do nothing.
Oh boy,
it was like a joke.
The vibe too.
Yeah.
It stresses you out just to get there. You're like, oh, already defeated.
Exactly.
Well, 3 critically endangered tiger cubs were born at the Nashville Zoo.
And we've got some pictures and video to show you here. Adorable. These are Sumatran tiger cubs born Friday, and they have been with their mama Anne in a private den. The International Union for Conservation of Nature says that there are only 400 to 600 Sumatran tigers left in the wild. In a few months, these babies will be ready to go outside, and guests, that means you and us, will be able to see them at the Tiger Crossroads exhibit. Sleeping like babies with mama.
Like so angelic till you wake them up.
And then they get big. Yeah. All right, 4:48 right now. Hey, Greg.
Hey, do you know what I wonder if they're going to do one of those naming contests?
Yeah.
Where they go like, submit your name or pick a name from a list or one of those things that ends up happening. I'm very curious because people come up with very interesting names that end up being perfect for the animal.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can talk about this kind of stuff because like you mentioned earlier, not a whole lot was happening in traffic, and weather for right now couldn't be better. Today, sunny, up near 80 degrees, no problems. However, this is happening. It's coming our way. We're going to have our first real frost and freeze of the season that moves in next week. Monday, we're just days away from Monday. Lows will be right near 40 to 51 degrees. Not all that bad, so our chance for a frost is going to be very small, if not close to zero. Tuesday, the chance for frost, which is when temperatures get below 36 degrees. Well, the lows will be 31 to 37. That's happening Tuesday morning. Then we go into Wednesday, and 25 degrees to 31 degrees. Really good chance for frost, and we could even see a freeze in many spots. Right side of your screen right now, current temperatures, nowhere near it. We're talking 50s and 60s to kick off this morning. Where do we go from here to get to there? 80 degrees today, 80 tomorrow, 82 on Saturday, 75 on Sunday. You see the rain chances there in percentages for the next couple of days. They're very low, so we'll look at future track and kind of time out who has the best chance to see a pop-up shower or two. But Sunday into Monday, Sunday night into Monday is the big cool down, and also our best chance for some widespread rain. A lot coming your way here in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Greg. 450 right now in steer clear traffic. Let's go over to I-440 at West End. Look how quiet it is over here. You can almost hear a pin drop, except for that one trucker that's coming along here.
He gets the whole road to himself.
I know, basically. I mean, and that's really the case, Megan, for your entire morning commute. I'm checking TDOT real quick here. Behind the scenes, no crashes, no debris on the track, no cars that are, having car troubles to slow you down. So really just good news here on your Thursday morning to get out and go. At 4:51 right now in our economy, taking a look now at the market shock for cryptocurrencies, known as a crypto winter that might now be thawing. Have you heard about Bitcoin lately?
Oh boy, well, Bitcoin's value back near $35,000, more than double the most recent dip to $16,000 last December. It's up about $8,000 in a month. So good news for all those people trying to hang on.
Right.
Bitcoin's still way down, though, from the $64,000 peak from 2 years ago. Well, looking ahead to tonight, it's the last regular season high school football game. Our Friday Night Rivals game features Ravenwood and Brentwood High School at 7 p.m. You can watch it on our sister station, MyTV 30.
After the World Series right here on Fox 17 tomorrow night, you can check out our highlights from Football Frenzy Live. So we have tomorrow night, we've got the game of the week, then we got the World Series, and it's going to be at 6 o'clock right here. Game 1 Friday, and then again, Football Frenzy Live plus our evening news will be on right after that. And then don't miss out Saturday, because we've got a couple of things going on. We have college football during the day, and then game 2 of the World Series Saturday night. Let's talk about those college football games. We've got Oklahoma and Kansas here. It's a doubleheader. And then our next game coming up Saturday is going to be Oregon and Utah. That's at 2:30.
Great lineup there. And then on Sunday, we've got a good NFL game for you. You can watch the Cleveland Browns. They're 4-2, and they take on the Seattle Seahawks at 3 o'clock. Of course, you can watch it right here on Fox 17.
And still to come, a man in New York trapped in a bank vault. I was watching this as it was happening live yesterday morning, and the whole thing is just absolutely wild. What it took to get this guy out and why he had to wait trapped in a vault.
Oh my goodness.
For like 10 hours.
I have questions.
We'll have answers.
Fox 17 News.
Well, take a look at this. A massive, well, we'll start with this. A beauty shot. Downtown Nashville. Looks like a little rain.
Well,
let's move through. What is that?
Well, okay,
or are they
so
cleaning the streets?
Yeah,
I'm never up this early to see
I was
this
going to
stuff,
say, now
so.
you know, it's all coming back. Megan O'Halloran joining us live here on Fox 17 News this morning. Again, it's a treat. Normally, you would see her at night with Scott Couch, but she's going to join us here on our morning show today and tomorrow. So glad to have you.
Thank you.
It's muscle memory, right?
I'm telling you what. Yeah, it's always fun to jump back in the seat.
Well, a massive explosion in space has now been detected, and it's more than 1 million times brighter than the entire Milky Way. They're calling it the gamma ray explosion, witnessed by the James Webb Telescope and other observatories. It's the second brightest witnessed in 50 years. The burst was related to 2 neutron stars merging in a galaxy about a billion light years away or so. This stuff is always so hard for me to wrap my head around.
Oh yeah, I can't comprehend it.
It's very difficult, but a new study published just yesterday in the journal Nature details all of the specifics. Not anything that we can see here, of course. Like I said, those high-tech telescopes were able to see it, but in a
It's unbelievable.
Galaxy far,
Makes
far
us realize
away.
how small we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's see, 4:56 right now. Something we can see that Greg has been tracking.
Yeah.
Is the rain coming in for the weekend here at home?
Do you want to know what happened with that explosion in the most basic terms?
Tell me.
You got the 2 stars,
Uh-huh.
and they rotate around each other,
Uh-huh.
and they pull each other closer and closer.
And then go boom.
And then they go boom.
Okay.
Mhm.
Very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Stars go boom.
You're like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
We like
They
the
go
stars.
kaboom. That's what
Stars
happens.
that go boom. Anyway, anybody remember that song?
Oh.
I'm dating myself.
No, I know it too, so I'm dating myself as well. Weekend outlook. Y'all got nothing to worry about here when it comes to the actual weekend itself. Now, there could be a small pop-up shower or two each day, so just having the umbrella in case will be okay. But fall color, I was driving around all of Middle Tennessee over the last couple of days, and boy, it's starting to peak in some spots here. We're in that sweet spot for some good fall foliage. Last warm days are ahead of us here, though, because of a big cool down going into next week. And also, this happens, so look at our sunrise and sunset next week as daylight saving time ends 7:10, or I should say 7:12 to 6:13, 5:48 to 4:47 for your sunrises and sunsets.
Greg, thank you. 4:57 right now. So just a few minutes before the top of our 5 o'clock show, and all's quiet in your morning commute. Not a crash, not anything to get in your way. So if you have an early morning workout class, or maybe you're going into work a little early this morning because you're going to skip out early, that's always fun. No problems out there on the Mid-State. I mean, Briley Parkway is like a ghost town right now, so you're good to get out.
All right, 4:58, so just before the 5 o'clock hour, food insecurity surging among American families in 2022.
Yeah, that is according to a new report from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Overall, about 17 million households. That equates to about 12% of the homes in the country had trouble providing food for all of their family members at some point last year, and that is up from 13.5 million households, or about 10%. So that's a pretty significant increase from 2021. Analysts say the number is likely driven up by, I mean, you guessed it, inflation. And a lot of the pandemic era government measures that were helping people. So think all those stimulus checks that ended, and people just, weren't getting what they were used to. So brand new study out here this morning.
Okay, this is the story we were talking about earlier. Yeah. Unbelievable when you hear the details. In New York City, a customer somehow got trapped inside a bank vault and ended up spending the night there.
Like Megan said, we got a lot of questions here. Let's see if we can get to the bottom, at least, of what investigators are telling us. So the vault located in the basement of the World Diamond Tower in Manhattan. If you think this place is not crawling with cameras and locked up tight, think again. Okay, so again, how did this all happen? Well, apparently this customer was going to his safety deposit box after 7 p.m. Tuesday when employees closed the vault door. They claimed they didn't know that guy was still in there.
Wow. Well, fire officials said once the vault is closed, it cannot be reopened until morning. First responders did try to cut through the vault's concrete wall, but then they hit metal plating, so that wasn't going to work. At 6:15 a.m. on the dot, the vault opened on a timer, setting the man free after nearly 12 hours. He's okay, but I'm sure he's puzzled himself.
Well, heck yeah. I mean, Megan and I were talking about this during the commercial break. How do you not have a plan in place?
For sure.
If this happens? You mean to tell me nobody knew he was in there? There were no security cameras that detected motion or movement or anybody, and there's not anybody that has a code?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have one person
who
works for the World Diamond Tower who has a code. Nobody?
I'm sure he's not the only person that's gone in there at 7 p.m. either. How's this not happen? Yeah, I've got questions.
Our 5 o'clock hour starts now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, we start with breaking news from overnight. 2 mass shootings killing and injuring dozens of people in Maine. The suspect still on the run.
And coming up, neighbors react to the end of a multi-day manhunt. Those details soon.
And the 80s continue just for now. The first frost and freeze of the year coming our way next week, and we'll look at your Halloween forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All righty, here we go. 5 o'clock now. I'm Jennifer Waddell. Thanks for joining us for Fox 17 News This Morning.
I am Megan O'Halloran. Happy Thursday to you. We're starting things off for you on this Thursday morning. Here are the top 3 things that you need to know.
Yeah, breaking news this morning, as Megan just mentioned a moment ago, 22 people so far confirmed dead and many more injured after 2 different mass shootings in Maine, all in the same town. They happened at a bowling alley and a bar. The suspected shooter is still on the run. By the way, this is in Lewiston, Maine, which is just north of Portland.
Well, there is a new Speaker of the House, Representative Mike Johnson out of Louisiana, the Republican, chosen yesterday. He said his top priorities will be getting bills passed as fast as possible. That may include canceling a traditional House recess.
And the other big story we're following here for you this Thursday morning, a possible deal could be close for United Auto Workers and Ford. It could get 16,000 Ford workers back on the lines, but a lot still has to be done between now and then. So we'll monitor that for you. By the way, still no deal in sight with GM or Stellantis.
Well, back to our breaking news, and this is developing by the hour here. The search is on for the suspect accused of mass shootings in Maine. Authorities say at least 22 people are dead, dozens of others injured last night.
Yeah, neighbors have been advised to continue to shelter in place because they don't know where this guy is. They're trying to track him. This all starting in Lewiston, Maine. Police are looking for Robert Card. His picture is right here. Officials say he is a certified firearms instructor. He's a member of the U.S. Army Reserves. And they also say that he had recently reported mental health issues and had made threats previously to shoot up a National Guard base there in Maine. Police say these shootings happened, as I mentioned, at a bar and a bowling alley. The FBI's Boston division says they are ready to help with any available resources.
This is an overwhelming situation. I don't think we've ever had anything like this.
Now, Fox 17 News, as Megan mentioned, is going to be following the newest updates as they come in. So far, none of the victims have been identified.
We'll, of course, keep you updated throughout the morning as more information comes in.
Waking up here on your Thursday, and not much of a change compared to yesterday. Temperatures once again will be up near 80 degrees. Enjoy the warm days while they last, because the big cool down, it's moving our way, and we're going to see the temperature slowly slide away from the 70s into the 40s Sunday into Tuesday. So a 48-hour period of about a 30-degree temperature drop. That includes Halloween. So if you have trick-or-treating on Tuesday night, we're going to look at that forecast for you. Up and out the door here this morning, 60 degrees at the bus stop. Right side of your screen, current temperatures are in the 50s to right near 60 degrees. We've got no worries here to kick off your Thursday, so we're going to ease our way into the weekend, and we're going to get an abrupt stop coming into the beginning of next week. I want to give you all the information you need all at once right here, getting you out the door. 80 today, 80 degrees tomorrow, 82 on Saturday, and then that slide down from 75 on Sunday to 48 on Tuesday. You see a few small percentage chances for some rain on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll look at it on Future Track. I'm not heavily concerned that most of us see anything, but Sunday night into Monday is the big cool front. That's our best chance for some widespread rain.
Greg, thank you. We need the rain.
We
really do need the rain. I know it's, kind of syncs with the timing of football and stuff like that, but we need to get some rain here. Okay, steer clear traffic, I-24 Briley Parkway looking good. This is the drive from folks who are north and west of town. So Clarksville, Pleasant View, Jolton, Springfield, you guys are looking good right now. I-24 wide open, and this I-24 at Briley Parkway showing us that. We'll check in again in another spot here in just a few minutes.
5:05 right now, turning to Operation Crime and Justice. We're hearing from neighbors about what they saw after a multi-day manhunt finally comes to an end. The suspect now dead. Nashville Police Chief's John Drake's estranged son wanted for shootings in Laverne, shooting two police officers earlier this week.
Just a devastating story from start to finish. Those two officers shot, the manhunt that had neighborhoods, on lockdown and so concerned, and then the chief's son is dead. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joining us live to get us updated here this morning and sharing the stories of some of those neighbors who witnessed some of this going down.
Yeah, definitely a dramatic night for that Edge Hill community as they heard SWAT team officers trying to negotiate with John Drake Jr., who police say later shot himself. Now, we want to show you some of that video from that evening. Now, Drake Jr. had been involved in a carjacking earlier in the night, making it to the Edge Hill neighborhood where he crashed into another car. You can also see him get out of the car and start running, but he stopped in the backyard of a home on the 1400 block of the 15th Avenue South. That's where he hid in a shed behind the home before officers recall hearing one gunshot in the direction of the shed. Now, those who live nearby tell me this was happening. While this was happening, there were dozens of police cars just swarming the block.
I don't know what to think. I said I didn't think it'd be this close to home.
Some of those neighbors tell Fox 17 News that police made them evacuate their homes for a church across the street due to safety purposes. Now, as for Chief Drake, that is his estranged son, as we've been reporting. So, of course, he does say that he is heartbroken by this outcome, really from start to finish. We have his full statement on our website, fox17.com. In Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Kylie, thank you. Still to come, a bizarre situation for a mid-state woman after a funeral home somehow mixed up her grandfather's casket with someone else's.
This Fox 17.
5:09 on your Thursday morning. This making some news headlines today. A Mount Juliet woman goes to a funeral home to honor her grandfather, but there was a mega problem. Her grandfather wasn't there. It was switched up with another man who was buried in another state. How in the world could this happen? Police say the two men were transported and embalmed before the grandfather was mistakenly taken to a Kentucky funeral home and buried 2 days later. No word yet on what's being done to rectify this situation. We'll keep you posted. And during drought conditions in the mid-state, one water provider in Franklin asking locals to be careful with their water use. The Franklin Water Management Department serves over 19,000 people. Right now, they suggest you maybe take some of these steps on your screen, saying only water your plants in the early morning hours or after the sun goes down. Check all of your pipes and hoses for any potential leaks, and only wash your car at a commercial car wash to save water. And Greg, I mean, comparing this time of year to last year, how far in a drought are we?
I love when both of you do this because now you know what? Next check of the forecast.
Sorry, I threw you off there.
No, that's perfect because I've already got a graphic made. So when we chat in person here in about 5 minutes, I'll give you the answer to that question. I've already got it all fleshed out for you.
We're supposed to talk about the full moon.
Did y'all see it driving in? I mean, It was bright. Oh, I know. It's one of those things where you just look down and you go, here we go. We got to get into work. Look up because the best chance to see it's going to be now and tonight because clouds move in. But we have a full moon here. It is the Hunter's moon. It will be on Saturday as technically a full moon, but right now it is bright. It is beautiful. Our sunrise isn't until we're close to the 7 o'clock hour. So late 6 o'clock into 7 o'clock is when we're going to see the sunrise, and then you won't be able to see that moon until tonight. Taking a look here at your coffee cast, sunrise will be at 7:03. Temperatures hold steady in the 60s throughout this morning and will be in the 80-degree temperature range this afternoon.
Gosh, it's warm. Greg, thank you very much. At 5:12 right now, live look, I-40 at I-24. Not too bad. We've got, little ants marching in here coming into town, but no backups, just a standard kind of slow roll. If you've ever driven this part of the interstate, it's almost like a blind bend that you drive into, and it's hard to see what's ahead of you. So folks pump the brakes as they're coming around that bend and then trying to merge to get into downtown. I'm going to give you a quick check here behind the scenes just to make sure we don't have anything that's popped up, and now everything looks good. You have got the green light here on your Thursday morning.
All right, off to a good start there. Yeah. Well, Tennessee now suing the federal government. The rule the Attorney General says blocks millions of dollars in funding.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News. This morning, a live look into downtown. 61 degrees. It is mild to start the morning. Hey, Chris Tucker, actor, comedian. You might know him from Rush Hour, Fifth Element, just to name a couple. He's going to be in Nashville tonight performing at the Ryman.
That's exciting.
But before he goes to the Ryman tonight, he'll be live with us on Fox 17 News this morning at 8:15, so buckle up. You never know where that's going to go.
Look forward to talking with him.
Yeah. This morning, the U.S. House of Representatives looks like they can now get back to work because Republicans have agreed on a new speaker, Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson.
Well, it only took him one vote on the House floor yesterday to get the gavel, but as national correspondent Atra El-Nashar reports, what's next for Johnson will be much more difficult.
Today is the day we get this done.
After 4 nominating cycles and 22 days without a House Speaker, Republicans did get it done.
The Honorable Mike Johnson of the state of Louisiana, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Speaker of the House Mike Johnson won the gavel on a party line vote without a single Republican voting against him.
Please raise your right hand.
What's next for Johnson would be difficult for any speaker, especially one who didn't expect to fill the job. Congress must fund the government by November 17th and decide how to proceed with the president's more than $100 billion request to fund Israel, Ukraine, the southern border, and Taiwan.
The challenge before us is great, but the time for action is now, and I will not let you down.
Elected to the House in 2016, Johnson has the least amount of legislative experience among the leaders with whom he'll be negotiating these issues. Beyond urgent funding needs, will Johnson be able to reach across the aisle to get things done? Former Speaker Kevin McCarthy and Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries managed to quickly form an amicable working relationship.
The Honorable Mike Johnson.
It could take longer for Johnson and Jeffries.
House Democrats will continue to push back against extremism in this chamber and throughout the country.
But Johnson may prioritize mending strains within his own party, on full display the past 22 days.
I think they're worn out, they're tired. I think the country is frustrated by it. The conference is frustrated by it.
The House is already back to work. Lawmakers moved immediately to debate and then vote on a resolution saying the United States stands with Israel and condemns Hamas. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atrell Nashar.
Let's talk about this. Otis, look at this. Weakening, but to below a tropical depression strength. It hit southern Mexico, about here at Acapulco. And I mean, look at the magnitude of this storm. Then you see all these ominous colors here. You know red's bad, and then you get into what? The purple and the black. Never a good thing. Forecasters noted how quickly Otis intensified. It went from a tropical storm to a powerful Category 5 in just about 12 hours. So it moved right along there. Otis is described as the strongest storm in history to make landfall along the eastern Pacific coast.
Well, at 5:18, Greg had been keeping an eye on that thing. And Greg, as it, weakens and moves along, there's not any chance that we would get any remnants of rain. Like the rain we're going to get here is not related to that, correct?
Not at all.
Okay.
Because weather's kind of like traffic, where whoever thinks they're in charge takes charge. You know what I mean by driving in Nashville, where that person will just cut you off and just say, you're going where I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got a big cold front moving in Sunday into Monday, which will keep all the remnants down to the south.
So you're saying the cold front's in charge? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, the cold front's in charge of our weather traffic.
She's the boss. All right.
It definitely is. But hurricane season, we're not over yet. Taking a look here, hurricane season starts in early June, ends at the end of November, and we can still see more of these flare up here for us. This was a very, very bad hurricane. We're talking about what does a Category 5 mean? It means wind speed of 157 miles per hour or higher. And that's when it made landfall. It was still that strong. And you just see the images. It's going to be years with the cleanup for those folks down there. Also, taking a look here, Megan, you asked, I will deliver. How much rain have we seen so far this month? 0.3 inches. I mean, that's like a splash of water in a cup. Taking a look here, departure from normal, meaning how much more should we have seen? 2.44 inches. The entire year, we're down 7.5 inches of rain. We are in a drought. We have burn bans in some areas right now. So we're going to continue to watch this. We're going to look at the current drought monitor coming up in just a little bit. But we're also going to get a brand new update of that at 8 o'clock when we're your only live and local news source. We're going to go and take a look at the one we had issued last Thursday and compare it to this one and how much better or worse we're sitting compared to just a week ago from today.
All right. Sounds good, Greg. Thank you. We'll look forward to that. Right now at 5:20, steer clear traffic. We're going to jump on over to I-40 at Donaldson Pike. This is the exit for the airport. If you look to the top center of your screen, that's the sign for BNA. And all the taillights there, those are folks trying to get in either to jump on a flight or pick up maybe somebody from a red eye. So no big problems, no big backups, starting a little bit more volume of traffic coming into Nashville. That's the headlights you see right there, but still no problems. You've got a really smooth, quick commute all around the midstate here to start your Thursday.
Well, 5:20 right now. Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti suing the federal government over an abortion rule that's blocking millions of dollars in family planning funding.
Yeah, let's get into it here because our Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti filing that lawsuit just Tuesday in Knoxville's district court. Federal rules require clinics to give abortion referrals, but abortion is banned in our state, so the state bars clinics from providing that information. The money comes from the federal family planning program called Title X. The Department of Health and Human Services told Tennessee officials back in March that the state could not receive that money as a result of the ban. The complaint, though, is now asking a federal judge to reinstate Title X money and rule that HHS cannot withhold money simply because of a state's abortion ban. We will follow this story as it develops.
Well, coming up, a fire over the weekend may have been sparked by a homeless encampment, people living there. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller digs into the experiences of some of those neighbors.
Change is coming.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It is 5:23. In the high cost of homelessness, Metro leaders tell Fox 17 News the homeless encampment in Hermitage is a top priority, but the neighbors that we've talked with say the homeless problem has only gotten worse over the last month. So what gives? Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller works to investigate.
This is the fire burning behind the townhomes off Hermitage Woods Drive in Hermitage on Sunday.
It was a tent that was back there, and they saw multiple of them, and that's where they suspect or saw the fire starting from.
A woman who wishes to remain anonymous lives in a townhome right near where this happened. She says the homeless problem has been bad since she moved in here.
The first night I actually moved in is when I experienced the banging on my windows at like 11. It was between 11 o'clock and 1 a.m.
She was told squatters were occupying her home before she moved in and showed up on the first night she stayed there.
We haven't had anybody come through since then because I guess they realize now that someone's actually living there. But we suspect that they thought we were squatters that took the spot that they were in.
We reached out to Metro's Office of Homeless Services, and they say the Hermitage encampment is still a top priority, but they say they can't address a new encampment until the people they moved out of the camps earlier this month get fully acclimated in their new living conditions. But Hermitage residents are hoping this happens sooner rather than later.
Through the forest that's in the back, you like one or two, you'll kind of see a little further down on the other side where they are kind of going in and out there. So it does make a little bit of a concern, especially at night times.
So they can live in peace.
All right, Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller with that report. Now, Metro also says this is a delicate process. Getting people acclimated to new living conditions can be traumatic for them. I mean, if you think about it, some of these folks have been living on the streets for years. And so this is a process that leaders say cannot be rushed. They say they will be addressing the next prioritized encampment soon, but you can count on Fox 17 News to stay on this story and let you know exactly what they plan to do.
5:26 your time here on a Thursday. We're getting closer to the weekend. I always call it Baby Friday. Here's your forecast, and it is gorgeous. Now, there will be a couple of clouds that build in on and off throughout the day, but no rain that we have to worry about. I'm not seeing any fog right now. 72 by 10 a.m. Current temperatures right side of your screen are in the 50s and 60s, 79 degrees at 2 p.m., and then 78 at 5 o'clock. If you want to go outside for lunch, you want to grill out or go outside for dinner, this is a good day to do it. Oh, and y'all, this is National Pumpkin Day. So pumpkin picking forecasts, yeah. So the pumpkin picking forecast here going into the next couple of days. Temperatures will be very good for us here. I'm going to talk about now is the time. We are close to Halloween. When to carve, how to keep them safe. I have some pumpkin hacks of ways to keep them from rotting as you go into Halloween as well.
Greg, I'm so glad to hear you say that because I always feel like we never time it right.
Yes.
You know, you carve it too soon, it becomes a rotty, gross mess. But then you wait until the night before and then you only have it for a day, right? So, okay, I can't wait to hear that. Right now, steer clear traffic, 527. We have a live look from I-65 at Moore's Lane. Good morning to all of you commuting in from Williamson County. So whether you are Thompson Station, Franklin, Fairview, Brentwood, looking good. You've got the all clear on I-65 coming all the way up to and through Nashville. And as I do a quick check here behind the scenes, like I usually try to do for you, I just want to reassure you that that's the case around the mid-state. We are still crash free as we approach 5:30.
Coming up, neighbors react as a multi-day manhunt comes to an end.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, new from overnight, the breaking news of 2 mass shootings that have killed and injured dozens of people in Maine. The man you see here on your screen still on the run.
And starting off our day dry, fog-free, temperatures are warm. We're in the 50s and 60s when our high temperatures will be 12 to 15 degrees cooler than what you're waking up to right now. That's coming up in your Code Red forecast.
And steer clear traffic right now looking oh so good. Nice and quiet, smooth sailing, speed limit or better all around the mid-state. Thanks for joining us for Fox 17 News This Morning. Glad to be here for you on this Thursday. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
I'm Megan O'Halloran. Thank you so much for waking up with us. We'll get right to your news headlines. We start right now with Operation Crime and Justice, a dramatic multi-day manhunt coming to an end this morning. Neighbors recalling the moments leading up to it.
And Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker has been talking with neighbors, hearing their stories and now sharing them live on Fox 17 News this morning. She's over at Metro Police headquarters right now with more.
Officials say John Drake Jr. Shot himself and is now dead. Now, this is the Metro Police Chief's estranged son who was accused of shooting 2 Laverne police officers earlier this week. Now, SWAT officers tried to negotiate with John Drake Jr., who was hiding in a shed behind a home in Edgehill after he crashed a car that he stole. But officers who surrounded the home reported that they heard a single gunshot coming from the direction of the shed. Now, according to the TBI, Drake Jr. was found dead after what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And neighbors tell Fox 17 News they saw how it all started when Drake Jr. took off running.
I heard a crash, so I looked at my door. I don't open my door at night at all for nobody because it's too dangerous. It's really crazy because I'm still in my house and the police, they knocked on my door, asked me, you okay? I said, yeah.
Say police had them evacuate to a nearby church for safety purposes. Now, Chief Drake says that he is heartbroken by the outcome from start to finish. We have his full statement on our website, fox17.com. In Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Kylie. Good morning. Time right now is 5:32, and we're taking a look here at the big chill. That's what we're calling it here at Fox 17 because it really is. When you go like that with an 82 on Saturday to that 48 on Tuesday as a high temperature, that's a chill. We're going to drop, almost 40 degrees in temperature for high temperatures within 72 hours. Nighttime temperatures will go from the 60s into the upper 20s by Tuesday night. Cold air moves in, it moves in quick, and it will be very abrasive. So just note that as you get out of the weekend into next week. So we're going to look at Halloween. That could mean a big change up for some costumes here when it comes to temperatures and that trick-or-treat time. We'll look at trick-or-treating. So here we go, roller coaster of temperatures going up and down. I hate that term usually, but when the graph actually looks like that and it looks like a roller coaster, it's kind of an accurate term. Take a look, 52 on Monday, 48 on Tuesday, but then back up to 57 on Thursday, and we'll climb a little bit more into Friday. Coming up, we'll look at your 7-day forecast, and by the end of the half hour, you're going to meet your dog of the day.
Well, we always look forward to that little dog of the day, Greg, so we'll see that here in just a few minutes. Right now, though, in steer clear traffic, I-65 at Rosa Parks. This is where you would jump off to go to Metro Center or perhaps the capital, Germantown. All's quiet here. Nice and slow. I'm thinking, just calm exit from the house. You've got your caffeine. You got some good tunes. Maybe you got a little breakfast to go. A good drive here to start your Thursday morning.
5:34 right now. The search is on for the suspect accused in the multiple mass shootings in Maine. Authorities say at least 22 people are dead and dozens of others injured last night. Neighbors have been advised to shelter in place.
Yeah, we were just checking online to make sure there weren't any updates here in the last few minutes, and still no news when it comes to searching for the man who police say is responsible, and you're looking at him right here. His name, Robert Card. Police have said that he is a certified firearms instructor. He's a member of the U.S. Army Reserves. He had recently had some mental health problems. Some reports showed that he had checked himself in for a mental health illness. He had made threats reportedly to shoot up a National Guard base in Maine. All of the shootings last night happened around the town of Lewiston, Maine, which is just north of Portland. A couple of the locations being a bar and a bowling alley.
I mean, at this point, this is a significant amount of shock going on with people that were actually witnesses. Obviously, when I was bringing people in that were looking for their loved ones, there's fear, there's panic. Of course, there's worry, understandable. I mean, this is an all hands on deck situation. So yeah, you can train for this, but you can never be completely prepared. But I've been talking to a lot of our officers tonight, and we all should be proud of them.
Yeah, all right. So again, no new updates as far as the search is concerned. We do have a sister station in that area. They've got a crew on the ground there. So we're going to check in with them to see what they're learning. In the meantime, we also know that none of the victims have been identified, but we will keep you updated throughout the course of the morning.
Well, 5:35, a live look at Ryman Auditorium, where later tonight it's going to be hopping. Chris Tucker will be performing stand-up comedy. And get this, he's actually going to be on the show this morning in our 8 o'clock hours. We'll have details coming up.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It is 5:38 and new right now. Comedian and actor Chris Tucker is going to be on Fox 17 News later this morning. He's going to be at the Ryman later tonight. So we just wanted to make sure that you are ready for that. I'm not sure we're ready for it, to be quite honest with you. You know, you never know how
Buckle
some of
up.
these things are going to go. So our Fox 17 photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is live over at the Ryman Auditorium this morning. All's quiet on the plaza. This is where you can kind of hang out, take pictures.
Make a whole night of it, yeah.
Yeah, that ought to be
I love
fun.
laughing. It's so much fun.
I know.
Right?
It's a good stress relief.
Totally.
And tickets still available for that show tonight at the Ryman if you want to go check it out. Look at the construction workers down there. What are you doing?
Up early.
They sure are. All right. So anyhow, just want to let you know that's one of the things that's happening. You may remember Chris Tucker from Rush Hour. With
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan, yep. Friday. He was in the movie Friday. Bye, Felicia. It's Friday. I can't finish that quote. As a stand-up comedian, he has performed around the world, released a Netflix special under his company called Chris Tucker Entertainment.
That's got to be such a tough job, stand-up comedy.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine the pressure, the crickets?
Yeah. All the practice you
Read
have
the
to
room.
do. Yeah.
Pretty much every joke I crack on this show, people at home are probably giving me crickets, so I'm not a stand-up comic, but I get it. Also, Chris Tucker, dramatic actor too, Silver Linings Playbook, if you haven't seen it. Tons of range. Taking a look here. Enjoy the warm days. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday, all right near 80 degrees. And then everything really changes rapidly. A big cool down from 82 on Saturday to 48 on Tuesday. Those are high temperatures. Our temperature right now, right side of your screen, waking up at 5:40 in the morning, is right near 60. Halloween outlook, I've taken the rain out, but we've definitely cooled it down for trick-or-treating, so keep that in mind. We're going to have that forecast for you. But coming back to the here and the now for the bus stop, 60 degrees at 6 o'clock, 60 at 7, and then 61 degrees at 8 a.m. No rain, no fog. Your 7-day forecast coming straight at you with that Halloween outlook next time you see me right here on Fox 17 News this morning.
Thank you very much, Greg. Right now, we're going to check I-40 at 46th Avenue. This is for our commuters in Bellevue. We can see traffic starting to pick up just a little bit, but no problems coming in along I-40, whether you are in Kingston Springs or Pegram or Bellevue. You've got a great commute here to start your Thursday.
Well, thank you for waking up with us every single morning. It's 5:41 right now. And by the way, we are the only local station with your traffic and weather updates live for you from 4 until 9. You can see weather updates on the right hand of your screen. News headlines ticking there at the bottom.
Get Black Friday deals.
Let's get into some sports headlines. 5:44 here on your Thursday morning. Nashville SC and MAPCO partnering to bring Metro Nashville Public Schools Plays program to more schools. Plays provides soccer play days with SC coaches and instructors for free to students. Well, today at Ida B. Wells Elementary, students will play soccer games on inflatable fields alongside SC's mascot and meet some of the SC players. What a cool opportunity there. Well, as enrollment in the Affordable Care Act reaches a record high this year, more Americans need doctors, but getting appointments can be a little tough. Nevada ranked 48th in the country for the availability of primary care doctors. And as Fox's Sunny Singh tells us, what's causing the physician shortage and how does it affect patients?
Many Nevadans have a hard time accessing quality health care. In fact, all 17 counties in the state are experiencing doctor shortages. I asked a couple medical school students what it would take for them to stick around after they finish school.
It's just more incentives to stay, as well as more positions, more specialties that would attract students to stay in the state.
Kenny Doe is a second-year medical student at UNLV. Doe was born and raised in Las Vegas, and he wants to complete his residency in his hometown. But there's no guarantee that'll happen.
We do not have enough residency positions. So in the end, a lot of times we go to school here, but then we end up doing residency elsewhere. And as a result, a lot of these physicians, they stay where they do residency.
Besides not having enough residency positions available, a lot of primary care doctors make less than specialists.
A lot of students, they finish med school with a lot of debt, right? So salary is a consideration for a lot of them too.
Nevada is having a hard time not only recruiting doctors, but also retaining them.
Most of our physicians are over 50, and many of them are approaching a retirement age. So you've got physician burnout.
CEO of University Medical Center Mason Van Houweling says a shortage in primary care doctors puts a strain on patients and the medical community.
Patients seek out care in the emergency rooms, which is kind of the last place you want to seek out primary care. They miss out on preventive health and medications that they need.
UMC helps fill the primary care gaps by having nurse practitioners and physician assistants care for patients. Both Van Houweling and Doe believe an increase in residency positions and offering medical school students debt relief will encourage more of them to pursue a profession in primary care. In Las Vegas, Sunny Sai, Fox News.
In your consumer news, Apple raising the price of its Apple TV Plus streaming service. The hike brings it now to $10 a month or $99 for the year. That's up about $3 from $7 a month or $30 more if you pay for the entire year. This is the latest streaming service to raise prices this year. It joins Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max. Well, she is everything, and sales are showing it. The Barbie film boosting sales for toy company Mattel. Box Office Mojo reports the movie has made more than $1 billion in sales as the film's success is creating a craze for Barbie dolls, dream houses, and other accessories. Making a comeback there. The company says it's predicting high demand for its products to continue into the holiday season. In your business news, Domino's will be giving away $1 million worth of free pizza to those who will resume their student loan payments. The program is an extension of Domino's Emergency Pizza program. Domino's will be releasing the student loan codes each day until $1 million worth of free pizza codes have been given out. Goes hand in hand, college kids and pizza. And even better when it's free.
Free college pizza.
Got your attention?
If I was in college, I would be finding that code right now. Yeah. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, this is the last weekend for it here at the Nashville Zoo. Boo at the Zoo. It ends on Sunday. And this is a great event here where the kids can meet the animals, but also the kids get the spotlight as well. Taking a look here, they get to dress up in their costumes. This does end on Sunday. This is your last weekend to do it. We got a Princess Leia here, and this is also key. You got to have your Halloween candy. They have 12 different trick-or-treating stations throughout the entire zoo. You've got the animals that'll be out there, or I should say 10 trick-or-treating stations. But, you know, at the end of the day, your bag's still going to be full. You can take it all home with you. Now, this is also really cool. And you can look it up online on fox17.com. The Monster Mash dance floor. you get to go out there with your kids and you can do a costume parade, the scary go-round carousel, special animal shows throughout the entire experience. The actual Halloween forecast for the upcoming Tuesday, middle 40s for trick-or-treat time. So it will be a little on the cool side. Maybe this weekend, find a thin thermal shirt you can use to keep the heat in, so you can still put the costume over it so the kids can still enjoy all the hard work that they put into getting that perfect costume. And it's unfortunate that we're one day removed from a warmer day, but that's just how we're going to roll here. 80s today and tomorrow. We're going to talk about a Sunday into Monday weather maker coming up in a few minutes.
All right, let's take a look at your steer clear traffic. If you are trying to get out the door, a little more free flowing on the highway here, more headlights that we're seeing on the road. This is I-24 at Sam Ridley Parkway in Smyrna. So far, so good. So traffic is holding at the moment. We'll have another update for you here in about 5 minutes. Looking ahead to this weekend, Hallow weekend in the Mid-State will be a busy one. We have the Nashville Half Marathon on Saturday, Boo at the Zoo all week long, All Hallows East Pumpkin Festival. That's in downtown Franklin. We're actually sponsors, so come out and see us this Saturday. We'll be in Franklin, and plenty more events and things to do this week. And we have all that posted on our website, fox17.com. To find what's happening near you, again, go to fox17.com. You can also get our Fox 17 News app. You can scan it by using that QR code that you see right there on your screen. Well, coming up, get out your smartphone and get that camera ready for a chance to play our Trick or Treat Trivia. That's next.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Happy Thursday. We're one day closer to the weekend. It's the gateway to Friday.
Well, we're about to turn the lights on here.
Getting it going, getting up and getting you ready to start your day. We have warmer temperatures this morning. You'll notice 62 degrees currently in Nashville. Might be a little bit cooler where you are, maybe if you're over by the lake or something. But keep it here to Fox 17 News this morning, because you might have heard Greg mention already, we have big changes in the forecast. Rain that could impact your weekend. We'll check in with him in moments and then get you more updates in the 6 o'clock hour. All right, you hear that sound, you know it's your chance, it's your time to shine. We've got the Fox 17 Trick or Treat Trivia Contest going on right now, so grab your smartphone and scan that QR code. When you do, when you open up your camera, you hold it up at that code, it's going to give you a link. You tap the link, you enter your information. To answer today's question, you get it right, you're entered to win that $100 Visa gift card and the grand prize drawing of $5,000.
Ooh. If you don't know the answer, maybe you can Google it. Not telling people to cheat, but
hey,
use the resources that are available. $100 on the line here.
Work smarter, not harder, right?
That's right. Well, more than 20 dogs being treated here in the Mid-State. They were rescued from a property in West Virginia.
Yeah, the Animal Rescue Corps, which does a lot of this work. Watch the video here with us, because you'll see as they went into this home, they took 14 adult dogs, 7 puppies from the property in McDowell County.
Oh, it just makes your heart drop there, especially when you see this video. The property owner says that his late mother had been feeding the stray dogs, but she recently passed away and the dogs were left on their own. ARC says that they were able to lure the adult dogs into pens using food, but reaching the litter of puppies under the home was an entirely different story.
We picked one of our smallest team members, Marta, and we pushed her through a small hole underneath the porch, and she belly crawled all the way back there and was able to pull 7 puppies out of there that are about 4 weeks old.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Well, ARC says that the dogs are now being treated in Gallatin, and we're told after going through full health checks, they will eventually be taken to local shelters and rescues to hopefully be adopted. What a survival story there.
Yes.
They deserve loving homes.
They sure do. And you know what? We have so many great rescue groups around here.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like JoJo's Dog House, Proverbs, you know, that animal rescue group. So hopefully you'll see these sweet babies available soon. We all keep our doggos close to our hearts.
So I couldn't not
look at this one.
I couldn't not go there. And the thing is, I tell all the owners when they send in the dog of the day to give me a story, and you have no idea how many of them say, we rescued this pup from a rough situation.
Oh.
This one right here, this is Grace May, sent in by Kathy Rennick from Springfield.
Beautiful
I'm told
dog.
that Grace loves to play with the horses that are on the property.
Oh.
I can only imagine that.
And she's beautiful.
She's oh my gosh, gorgeous
dog. Yes,
and
majestic looking.
Truly is, and it's a great day for a dog walk. The morning temperatures are very warm on the right side of your screen. We're in the upper 50s to right near 60, 64 at 9 o'clock, 76 degrees at noon, 80 at 3 p.m. Not going to be too cool, not going to be too hot. A little bit later in the day, you will see that progression of temperatures, about 5 to 10 degrees warmer every hour starting from 9 o'clock into 10. Make your plans now, because by the end of the weekend we cool down. We get some rain that moves in Sunday into Monday. How do you submit your photos? Very easy. Facebook, you see the logo right there on the top of your screen. You go to my page, meteorologist Greg Bobis. It's a pinned post. If you can't find that picture, you'll find the picture. It's the first thing you're going to see when you get on there. We want your photos. I go in order. So you're going to eventually see your dog of the day right here on Fox 17 News this morning. And if you do give us a story, especially if your pup might happen to be a rescue, we'll tell it right here when we show your dog of the day.
Yeah, the stories really just make it. Greg, thank you. 557 right now in steer clear traffic, giving you a live look. I-40 at Donaldson Pike over by the airport. There it is. There it is, that backup that we have started to see become part of the new norm on the commute to the airport, especially Thursday, Friday, and Monday. So that backup is there. If you are heading to the airport this morning or any time of day, I would tell you, you definitely need the 2 hours that you think you don't need, mainly to navigate all the changes. Megan, you were just at the airport, weren't you?
You sure was.
It's so different now.
Oh, yeah, it is. It takes maybe a minute to get your bearings.
Yes.
I did sign up for Clear because of all the...
Oh, good.
I'm like,
Did
you know what? Well, I'm here. Might as well, right?
Okay, all right, good. So heads up there and a little friendly advice for Megan. And hey, if you need to jump off the second exit, we've got 216A and B. Exit B will get you there just around the back way. New this morning at 5:58, the FBI is warning Americans about what they're calling phantom hackers.
Yeah, get this. The FBI's office in Denver says that it's seeing a rise in scammers pretending to be legit officials. Scammers are reportedly impersonating tech support, banking personnel, and government representatives. This specific scam misleads people to believe their bank accounts have already been hacked. The scammers convince victims to wire transfer money to them by saying they'll move the funds to a different account for, quote, protection. Nah, not so much. The agency reports that some who do happen to fall for these scams, they are losing their entire life savings. The FBI says government representatives will never ask for your money through a wire transfer, cryptocurrency, or prepaid card. So stay vigilant.
That should be the first red flag.
And check on maybe some elderly relatives. They typically fall for these scams, just from not knowing.
That's good advice. Yeah. All right, a new study right now from the maker of an Alzheimer's drug that suggests there's an easier way for patients to get their treatment for Alzheimer's. The drug maker Eisai says that Leqembi could be given as 2 weekly shots at home instead of through an IV. Leqembi is the first medicine proven to slow the course of Alzheimer's. What a breakthrough, right? Alzheimer's has just devastated so many families. Back in July, the FDA approved the drug, which currently has to be given once every couple of weeks by an IV infusion. The process does require people to spend about an hour at an infusion center. So this new process would take all that away. The drug maker plans to file an application for FDA approval of the weekly shots that you could potentially do at home or just real quick in your doctor's office. We understand they're going to do that perhaps by the end of March next year.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
A multi-day manhunt comes to an end this morning. Neighbors react.
80s once again today, but 80 goes to 48 degrees leading into Halloween with rain chances. We're going to break it down day by day, hour by hour in your Code Red forecast.
80 to 48, Greg, that's about what it sounds like when you're on the interstate in Nashville and you got to do an all-stop. You know what I'm talking about. You guys have been there. Right now, it's close to that on I-24 at Waldron. You're going along at the speed limit, and all of a sudden you see the brake lights up ahead coming almost to a full stop here. We do have a car that's pulled over to the shoulder I-24 at Briley. That is part of what is causing this backup. So we'll take you there in minutes here on Fox 17 News this morning.
Just after 6 o'clock here, if you're just waking up with 62 degrees to get you out the door. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 17 this morning. I'm Megan O'Halloran.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to have Megan here with us on the morning show again. She's switched the night side for the morning side here for a couple days. So we're going to both get you updated on all of your local news, weather, traffic headlines. And we begin right now with the search that is active for the man accused in 2 mass shootings in Maine overnight. We have at least 22 people confirmed dead right now, many more injured, and neighbors who have been told to shelter in place.
A terrifying situation playing out there in Lewiston, Maine. Police say they are looking for Robert Card. State officials say this man is a certified firearms instructor and a member of the U.S. Army Reserves. Authorities say the 40-year-old Card recently reported mental health issues and even made threats to shoot up a National Guard base in the state. They say the shootings happened at a bar and a bowling alley there in Lewiston.
This is an overwhelming situation. I don't think we've ever had anything like this.
Yeah, a lot of people shocked in the community.
For sure. Now, so far, none of the victims have been identified. This is still very much a developing story. I mean, as we speak, and we know we have crews from our local station up that way on the ground right now, and there are police going neighborhood to neighborhood, door to door, trying to find this guy. So people are very concerned. We don't know anything about the victims just yet, but as those details come in, we will keep you posted live through 9.
Turning now to Operation Crime and Justice, we're hearing from neighbors about what they saw after a multi-day manhunt finally comes to an end. The suspect now dead. Nashville Police Chief John Drake's estranged son wanted for shooting 2 Laverne police officers earlier this week.
You know, so he was on the run for 4 days. Nobody really knew exactly where he was, and this all comes to a head after a chase and a crash in another Nashville neighborhood. So Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joining us live right now from Nashville to get us updated, sharing their stories and what they saw.
Yeah, an alarming night for the Edge Hill community as they heard SWAT officers trying to negotiate with John Drake Jr., who ended up killing himself, according to police. Now, we want to show you some of that video from earlier in the night. Now, Drake Jr. had been involved in a carjacking, making it to the Edge Hill community, where he crashed into another car. Now here you can see him get out of the car and start running. He stopped in the back of a home on the 1300 block of the 15th Ave South area, where he hid in a shed behind that home before officers recall hearing 1 gunshot in the direction of the shed. Those who live nearby tell us this was happening. As this was happening, there were dozens of cop cars swarming the block.
I don't know what to think. I said I didn't think it'd be this close to home.
Some of the neighbors tell Fox 17 News that police made them evacuate their homes for a church across the street due to safety purposes. Now, the police chief, this is his estranged son again, so of course he says that he's heartbroken by the outcome. Really, the past few days from start to finish, it's been very heartbreaking for him. For now, live in Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Dakota Station.
6:04 on Thursday morning, taking a look at your forecast. And the big thing moving forward will be a major change in weather when it comes to our temperature pattern. We've had unreasonably warm, in a good way, if you like the heat, temperatures here compared to the average. Now we're going to be a little unreasonably cool compared to average low temperatures. Widespread frost next week is likely. Monday, not a big chance for it, but you're going to feel the chill begin to settle in. And then Tuesday, low temperatures 31 to 37 degrees. Frost likely. And then Wednesday, 25 to 31 degrees. This could be our first freeze of the season. Got to cover your plants. Got to take them inside if you want to keep them living here just a little bit longer. We do see a little uptick in temperatures here going into the end of next week. But frost is when temperatures go below 36 degrees. Freeze is when temperatures go below 32 degrees. So keep that in mind. But not today. 80 degrees right now, 80 tomorrow. We'll talk rain chances and future track coming up in your forecast in about 5 minutes.
Greg, thank you very much. Steer clear traffic time right now. As promised, I want to show you what we're dealing with on I-24 at Briley Parkway that's causing the backup down across the span of I-24 into Laverne and Smyrna. So TDOT is reporting this as a car that's either broke down or flat tire or something's going on off on the left shoulder. This is inbound to Nashville, and you can see it's in a bend right here as you approach I-24 at Briley Parkway. So definitely causing a big brake check. We do not have TDOT or police here yet. We do expect them to get here at some point. But just a heads up for you on your 24 commute, you got this car in the left shoulder. So it's like in the median, right? That concrete median area, very tricky spot. We'll keep an eye on this for you. I don't think I-24 needs a detour at this point, but we will definitely monitor it for you and check back in just a few minutes. Operation Crime and Justice now, a man facing vehicular homicide charges after a deadly crash in Hermitage. Police say 35-year-old Jason Treat, the man on your screen here, was driving drunk Saturday when he failed to slow down through a flashing yellow light near the Target store in Donaldson, and another car hit him. Well, his girlfriend, 35-year-old Vanessa Schmidt, a passenger in his car, died in that crash. Treat, by the way, has 2 previous DUI convictions and is also charged with having a gun while intoxicated.
I'm Janae Bowens in Washington with a look at why several states are suing Facebook and Instagram's parent company.
Targeted TikTok.
Good morning on this Thursday. It is October 26th. The 6:09 is your time. We have 33 attorneys general who have now filed a federal lawsuit out in California against Facebook and Instagram's parent company, Meta. They're accusing Meta of hurting young people and their mental health. 9 other attorneys general filed lawsuits in their respective states just in the last 24 hours, and Tennessee is on this list. We have our Attorney General, Jonathan Scrimetti. The National Desk's Janae Bowens explains what's happening now this Thursday.
It becomes a drug dealer. We just don't go out and meet the drug dealer on the street and say, here are my kids, what do you got for them?
Mental health expert with JustAnswer.com, Jennifer Kelman, says she doesn't allow her 14-year-old twins to go on social media because she doesn't want them to get addicted.
I get pushback from my kids, but it's just the way it's going to be, for a little bit longer. We can't unsee things that we've already seen, so it's my job to protect that for as long as I can.
Jennifer supports the new lawsuits against Meta, the parent company of Instagram and Facebook.
Social media is fueling a national youth mental health crisis. Children, and in particular young girls, are struggling with record levels of depression and anxiety.
New York Attorney General Letitia James is just one of the 42 state attorneys general suing Meta over alleged harm to young people.
With harmful features designed to ensure children spend more time on their platforms, compare themselves to their peers, and receive constant notifications, making them lose sleep and struggle to pay attention in school.
These issues are things Jennifer has witnessed firsthand.
This has been a personal crusade of mine, and also something that I've been seeing on Just Answer for a very long time in terms of parents reaching out, really not knowing what to do with their kids being addicted to social media, scrolling all day, all night, not having social interactions, and really losing a piece of themselves to social media.
Now, according to the Associated Press, Meta said that they were disappointed that the attorneys general have chosen this path. The tech giant says they wanted to work together to create clear, age-appropriate standards for teens. In Washington, I'm Janae Bowens.
Janae, thank you very much. It is just as bad 6:12 right now, and Greg's got his eye on the radar here because we do have rain making its way into the mid-state.
And this is going to be a little deceiving. I'm going to tell you why here and just break it down really easily. You got rain to our west. This is going to go away. The big brown line that we have over here is actually a bunch of dry air that's going to catch up to this and say go away. So our rain chances today, not there. Rain chances tomorrow, minimal at best. Better chance for rain is going to be off to our north if you get into places like Illinois, Indiana, northern Kentucky. Now we might get a shower or two tomorrow or Saturday. Not worried about it. Our big weather maker still out toward the west, and here's the confirmation here on Future Track. You can see the rain dies down. That first front pulls to the north and pulls a lot of it away from us. If you're in southern Kentucky, you have the best chance for rain for Friday into Saturday. If you get south of I-40, you may see nothing until Sunday into Monday. That is the big weather maker that is going to really influence the weather for next week. We'll talk about that coming up in a few.
All All right, Greg got it. Thank you. 613, steer clear traffic now. I-65 at I-24. This is over by Trinity Lane. So for all of our northern commuters coming into Nashville, this is pretty typical. All right, this is your routine slowdown as you approach Trinity Lane. We have no more backups on I-65 stretching up toward the Kentucky state line. Vietnam Veterans Boulevard looks good in Hendersonville. I-24 coming in from Clarksville. You're in the green.
A brave gentleman telling his story of breast cancer survival. And yes, we said his. I'm Liz Bonus. Guys can get breast cancer too. It's just ahead.
Attention homeowners.
6:15 here on your Thursday morning. Breast cancer can strike anyone. That's the message from a man who wants to help save lives. Medical reporter Liz Bonus shares his story of survival.
Hey there, everybody. John Hall has had quite a journey to recovery, but he admits when he was first diagnosed, he didn't know the early warning signs or that men could even get breast cancer. His first symptom, he said, appeared to set in overnight.
I started noticing spots on my t-shirts in the mornings.
By the time he was referred to Ohio's Christ Hospital breast surgeon, Dr. Jennifer Manders,
she told me, and my wife was with me, she told me that I had breast cancer, and I immediately started crying. It still makes me cry today to think about it.
John and his now late wife Sally eventually made the decision to have Dr. Manders' team perform a nipple-sparing bilateral mastectomy on John.
So we can lift the nipple up off of the underlying breast tissue as long as the tumor cells aren't involving the nipple, and we can save the nipple.
Now, nearly a decade later, John is cancer-free. He showed me how he does self-breast exams. A reminder for all of us, he says.
Anyone can get breast cancer. It's not as common in men, but it does happen.
As this video provided by the Christ Hospital shows, well, most breast cancers are found in women.
About 1 in 1,000 men gets breast cancer, and if you look at the total amount of breast cancer, about 1% of all the breast cancer we see is affecting men.
Once a year, John gets checked for any breast cancer abnormalities.
I don't think men should be embarrassed because they have breast cancer. I'm here to tell you, you can survive.
He's also here to tell you what he recently carved on this sign for Dr. Manders. It says, "Not all angels have wings. Some have scrubs." John's advice now to other guys: go to your primary care doctor every year and ask them to check your chest. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus. Back to you.
All right, Liz, thank you so much. 6:17 right now, and we've got some issues when it comes to the drought here in the mid-state, and now we have one water provider who is asking locals to be careful with how much you're using. This is Franklin, the Franklin Water Utility District, saying, please, during these drought conditions, if you're going to have to do watering at your house, do it either early or late. Check for leaks in and around your house, and don't wash your cars at home. Take them to the car wash instead. You know, we had Brentwood, we just told you yesterday, Brentwood put in a burn ban. So you cannot burn anything in Brentwood right now. Franklin asking folks to cut back on the water. Brett, do you, Greg, do you expect more? I know. More. Sorry, Brett was here for a few days.
6:18.
Muscle memory. Do you expect more localities to make these kinds of calls?
I would not be shocked.
Yeah.
We've had 0.3 inches of rain since the beginning of the month. We should have had about 2.5 inches more.
Okay.
So we'll look at the yearly average of that too. Now, this is what we show you all the time. It's got colors on it and all of that, the drought monitor. They issue it every Thursday at 8 a.m. So when we're live and local with you at 8 a.m., I'm going to get a new update of this. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this one and then show you the new one, and we'll do a comparison of the two. And I bet you that it gets worse before it gets better. I would not be shocked if we have more burn bans, especially going into a weekend leading up to a holiday. So just please be careful. Follow any rules that your local government's telling you to do when it comes to any water usage or burning. Here is what I mentioned, 0.3 inches of observed rain. What that means is that's all we've gotten every day added together. We should have had nearly 2.5 inches more. For the year, 34 inches. That sounds pretty good. It's not. We are almost 7.5 inches, just a little over 7.5 inches below where we're supposed to be when it comes to our rainfall through this date for the entire calendar year. And this month has not helped. It's added 2 of those 7 inches worth of it. 80 degrees for your Thursday, 80 on Friday. 82 on Saturday, and then a big cool down takes us Sunday into Monday. Our best rain chance is going to be Sunday night into Monday morning. It's out of here in time for Halloween, but Halloween is going to be very cool. Trick-or-treating right around 40 degrees.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the kids are going to have to rethink the costumes for sure. Like you said, layers, right? So you don't have to put the big bulky coat.
Oh, yeah. Might mess up the whole outfit.
I know, right? Okay, steer clear traffic, I-24 Harding Place, moving along, albeit slowly. That I-24 commute, pretty typical right now. We do have a car that's off to the left shoulder up at I-24 near Briley Parkway, but just a slow zone. I wouldn't say, our camera keeps freezing up here. I would not say you need a detour at this point coming in, but we'll keep an eye on it for you and let you know if you do. Let's look ahead to Friday. It's the last regular season high school football matchups, and our game of the week features Ravenwood and Brentwood. That's at 7 o'clock on our sister station, MyTV 30.
Well, then, after the World Series, check out all the highlights from the best matchups on Football Frenzy Live. Well, speaking of the World Series, Fox 17, your place to watch the Texas Rangers take on the Arizona Diamondbacks for the title. Watch that game. Game 1 is Friday night at 7.
And then don't miss Game 2 on Saturday, also right here on Fox 17 at 7 p.m. Now, also Saturday, before we get to the World Series matchup, we've got college football. We have a doubleheader for you. Oklahoma at Kansas is the 11 o'clock game.
Well, then Oregon takes on Utah at 2:30.
And Sunday, we've got NFL action. We have the Browns, who are sitting at 4-2, and the Seattle Seahawks also at 4-2. So they're going to take to the field Sunday at 3 o'clock here on Fox.
Good lineup there.
Yeah.
Well, a fire over the weekend may have been sparked by people from a homeless encampment. What neighbors are thinking, that's coming up.
Lowe's knows you need to save.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It is 6:23, and the high cost of homelessness. Folks living in Hermitage are furious, they're fed up, and now they are demanding that city leaders get busy after they say people living in a homeless camp started this fire in the woods right behind their houses.
Wow, look at this video on your screen here. Metro's Office of Homeless Services says the people that they moved out of the camps earlier this month need to be fully acclimated to their new living conditions. Metro says it's a very delicate process getting people acclimated to those new living conditions, and it can also be traumatic. So they explain this process cannot be rushed. But tell that to the Hermitage residents. They are hoping that something happens soon so that they can feel safer in their own neighborhood.
6:24 right now. We're going to check in on your forecast. Greg left us a little note here for the weekend outlook. Looking pretty good for your weekend.
Yeah, 82 on Saturday, 75 on Sunday, but we are dealing with a little bit of a turn. We're looking at temperatures dipping this weekend, and we're really going to turn the corner there.
Going to keep an eye on that forecast for Sunday, too, especially with the Titans game. Hoping it's not, a washout, but we'll monitor that for you. We got a home matchup at noon Sunday at Nissan Stadium. And now let's get into steer clear traffic. Looking pretty good around the mid-state with one exception, and it's right here, I-24 at Briley Parkway. I mentioned it just a few minutes ago. We have a car that's off to the left shoulder. That's on the inside barrier wall of I-24 at Briley. Good news, TDOT is here. So, or are they leaving? TDOT looking like they were going to give some cover here. I'm trying to see if they're going to close off that left lane.
Let's see, you're watching it?
I think they might be. All right, so yeah, Megan, to your point, we're going to watch this and keep an eye on it, because if they get into position here in that far left lane, that's going to cause absolute gridlock on I-24. So we'll monitor it for you here behind the scenes and get you updated in just a few minutes in our next Steer Clear traffic report. Hey, we have been talking about Hurricane Otis, which is now downgraded, but my goodness, did Otis wreak havoc on Acapulco. It is weakened to below tropical depression strength, but it hit southern Mexico in Acapulco. And so I want to just, let's see, we're going to help you take a look here at what we are working with regards to this storm. Look at the size of this thing. It's an absolute monster. And when it hit Acapulco, which is right here, I mean, you can see the eye of that storm right over that part of Mexico. It was a Cat 5. I mean, we're talking, more than 100-mile-an-hour winds. Experts describe this as the strongest storm in history to make landfall along the eastern Pacific coast out there. Man, my goodness, just, and as the video and the pictures start to come in, we'll get even a better look as we go throughout the course of the morning.
And a multi-day manhunt comes to an end. We'll hear from neighbors and their reaction.
We want to say thank you to...
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Bottom of the 6 o'clock hour, and right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, new overnight, 2 mass shootings, killing and injuring dozens of people up in Maine. That suspect you see on the screen still on the run this morning.
And right now we have a couple different live looks to kick off your Thursday. It's the gateway to Friday. Folks, we're almost to the weekend. 59 degrees in Nashville, where they've already come through and cleaned the streets of downtown, wiping off all the bad decisions and
yeah, right.
And good times. Good times
the slate for another day.
That's right. So we've got you covered with your forecast and when the rain starts to track in here in minutes. Plus, in steer clear traffic, we're still watching very closely a car that's got problems on the side of the interstate I-24 at Briley Parkway. We'll check the backup here and see if you need a detour in minutes.
All right, thanks so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Megan O'Halloran.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news team through 9 a.m. So we got you covered. And we do want to make sure we continue to keep you updated on the breaking news. It is the big story that so many are talking about this morning. The search for the man who was accused in 2 mass shootings overnight in Maine. Authorities say right now the death toll is at 22, but we have dozens of people who are in the hospital and neighbors who are in the search areas right now who are being told, lock your doors and don't come out of your house.
A shelter in place still in effect. Police out in Lewiston, Maine, right now are looking for this guy. His name is Robert Card. State officials say he is a certified firearms instructor and a member of the U.S. Army Reserves. Authorities say the 40-year-old recently reported mental health issues and made threats to shoot up a National Guard base in the state. They say the shootings happened at a bar and a bowling alley in Lewiston.
I mean, at this point, this is a significant amount of shock going on with people that were actually witnesses. Obviously, when I was bringing people in that were looking for their loved ones, there's fear, there's panic. Of course, there's worry, understandable. I mean, this is an all hands on deck situation. So yeah, you can train for this, but you can never be completely prepared. But I've been talking to a lot of our officers tonight, and that we all should be proud of them.
So far, no one has been identified as far as victims are concerned, but we will be keeping you updated throughout the morning. We've got crews on the ground there through our sister station, and so we're checking in with them to find out any new information as it comes in.
Turning now to Operation Crime and Justice, a dramatic multi-day manhunt coming to an end. And this morning, neighbors are recalling the terrifying moments leading up to it all.
Yeah, and it all started 5 days ago when a man shot 2 Laverne police officers, went on the run for 4 days, ends up in a neighborhood crashing out a car. That man that we're talking about is the son of Nashville's Metro Police Chief John Drake.
Well, Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joining us live from Metro Nashville Police Headquarters with more. Kylie.
Officials say that John Drake Jr. is dead after he shot himself, and as you guys mentioned, this estranged son who is accused of shooting 2 Laverne police officers earlier this week. We want to show you some of that video that we have. Now, SWAT officers did try to negotiate with John Drake Jr., who was hiding in a shed behind a home in Edge Hill after he crashed a car that he stole. But officers who surrounded the home reported that they heard a single gunshot coming from the direction of the shed. According to the TBI, Drake Jr. was found dead from what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And neighbors tell Fox 17 News they saw how it all started when Drake Jr. took off running.
I heard a crash, so I looked at my door. I don't open my door at night at all for nobody. because it's too dangerous. It's really crazy because I'm still in my house and the police, they knocked on my door, asked me, you okay? I said, yeah.
Neighbors say police had them evacuate to a nearby church for safety purposes. Now, Chief Drake does say that he's heartbroken by the outcome. We have his full statement on our website, fox17.com. There you'll also find from the past few days those interviews with Chief Drake from start to finish. In Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
6:34, looking at your forecast, and this is the big three things we're looking at here for the rest of this week into the upcoming weekend. Enjoy the warm days. We've had a couple of them. Today, 80, tomorrow, 80, 82 degrees on Saturday. Really nice weather. Sunday's the day when everything does the complete flip-flop. Think of a pancake where the bottom is nice and warm, but the top is nice and cool. Well, that's where we're going to be here. We're that bottom layer right now that's nice and warm, and then the top, we're going to be right near 48 degrees by the time we get to Tuesday. Big cool down. And Tuesday's Halloween. So what does that mean for trick-or-treating? The hours in the evening. We're going to look at it for you and make sure you know what's going on. Get the kids up and out the door moving here, though. We don't need rain gear this morning. We don't need any heavy layers. We're right near 60 degrees. 80 is the high later on this afternoon. Here's your 7-day forecast. Taking a look. We do have temperatures that will ride steady here into Saturday. No big changes. Rain chances are minimal at best. If you're in southern Kentucky, you have the best chance for a few showers Friday into Saturday. Nashville on south, exceptionally hit and miss when it comes to rain, but Sunday night into Monday, all of us could work into a few showers. We'll take a look at that coming up in a few minutes on Future Track.
Thank you so much, Greg. Steer clear traffic right now. Get a couple of live looks here for you. I-40 at Fessler's Lane. Look at that backup we're starting to see right in the middle of the lane. I hope these people are paying attention. That looks like a rear-end crash waiting to happen. So a heads up, and you guys know what we're talking about. This is just, this is the way Nashville traffic goes. You're going at 80 miles an hour, and all of a sudden you slam on brakes. So I-40 at Fessler's a little jacked up right now. Not worth a detour. This is just congestion. No crash reported in the area, but we'll keep an eye on that for you. Also, just wanted to give you another check of this situation. I-24 at Briley. This is inbound to Nashville from Antioch, and we've got a car that's broke down on the far left shoulder, causing a big brake check as you approach Thompson Lane. So keeping an eye on this for you. We'll go over to the airport and check on that. Plus, I think I'm seeing something on the other side of I-24. We'll check on I-24 near Jolton in just a few minutes.
A live look from Ryman Auditorium downtown, where Chris Tucker will be performing stand-up tonight. Tickets still available. If you want to catch that show, we'll have more details coming up.
My late father-in-law lit up.
Hey there, welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Just about 6:40 and new this morning, comedian and actor Chris Tucker is going to be performing at the Ryman Auditorium tonight in Nashville. But before he does that, he's going to be right here on our morning show coming up in our 8 o'clock hour.
Can't wait to talk to him. Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is live from the Ryman Auditorium, where he's set to perform tonight in his The Legend tour.
Yeah, so Tucker, of course, you might recognize the name for his role as Detective James Carter in the 1998 hit Rush Hour, starring Jackie Chan. By the way, I was just reading a little bit. It sounds like he's still good friends with Jackie Chan. Also, he was Smokey in the 1995 cult classic Friday, along with Ice Cube. And as a stand-up comedian, he has performed around the world. He's released a Netflix special under his company called Chris Tucker Entertainment. We've been finding all kinds of little tidbits about him.
But he's got some new content and material. It should be a fun show.
Yeah, all right. So he'll be here at 8:15 this morning, where we'll talk to him.
I'm going to look and see if there are any tickets that are still available, too. Just out of pure curiosity.
Last check, there were.
You gonna pull an all-nighter?
Let's see here.
Wouldn't be the first or last time that any of us that have worked the morning show have had to do that. Taking a look here. We have a full moon here on Saturday. If you were up really early, I'm talking a couple hours ago, and you looked up, very bright, vibrant moon. This is called the Hunter's Moon. All the moons are named by Native American tribes, and this is the one where hunting season to gather things to keep for the winter as the temperatures go down. They gave this one the Hunter's Moon. And tonight is the best chance to see it because clouds will move in tomorrow night, night after. So if you don't see it tonight, you might not get to see it on Saturday. It's not completely full, but I mean, it looks gorgeous, so keep that in mind. Now, coming up in a few minutes, I promised Jen some pumpkin hacks when it comes to keeping your pumpkins safe after you carve them, when to carve them, where to store them. We're getting close to Halloween, y'all. That's all coming right your way.
Okay, Greg, thank you. Right now in steer clear traffic, I was seeing reports of a car off to the side of the road, I-24 at Old Hickory, as you're approaching Madison, the Whites Creek area. But it looks like that car may have moved out of the way. A little bit of a backup here on I-24 as you approach that exit for Davidson Academy and Whites Creek, but no crash here, so that's the good news. Let's see what else we've got cooking in steer clear traffic. I-40 at Donaldson Pike, not too bad for the inbound commuters, some from Mount Juliet, and a little bit of a backup to get off the interstate there for the airport.
6:41, and we are following breaking news out of Maine. We know at least 22 people were killed in several mass shootings overnight. Keep it right here on Fox 17 News this morning for the latest on this breaking story.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It is 6:44. The Biden administration has now finalized new rules when it comes to consumer protections for student loan borrowers. The U.S. Department of Education now says that some of these new rules are to protect students whose colleges close suddenly. And this is supposed to help hold those schools accountable. So think up, pop-up, fly-by-night, colleges that are here today and gone tomorrow. These new provisions also include helping students understand their rights if their college does shut down. It also requires colleges to provide clear information on how much financial aid students are eligible for. The agency says they plan to stop colleges and universities from withholding transcripts for federally funded classes as well. T-Mobile is reversing plans this morning, so a change of course here after they said they were going to start charging customers more. Now, they recently planned a test program that would have forced some customers into more expensive wireless plans. The newer tiers would generally cost $5 to $10 more per line unless customers opted out of it. But in order to do that, you had to know about it, and then you had to contact the company. T-Mobile had planned to start notifying customers about the changes last week, but a flood of customer feedback, angry customers, prompted the company to, well, as they put it, hold off on these changes. So, backtracking there with T-Mobile. Well, here we are ahead of Halloween, and Airbnb is using artificial intelligence to crack down on disruptive or unauthorized Halloween parties this weekend. I imagine there will be a few here in Nashville. The company says that their system works to prevent certain potentially high-risk 1- and 2-night home bookings. So this is apparently all AI-driven, and it's what they call an anti-party system that looks at all kinds of signals that could indicate a higher risk for a disruptive or unauthorized party. So you might be wondering, like I am, well, what the heck does that mean? How are they using AI to figure all this out? Well, first of all, they look at how long you're staying somewhere, the distance to the house from where you are, like where you live, and whether that booking is last minute. The system is in effect across the U.S. and Canada. Last Halloween, this so-called anti-party system, they say deterred thousands of people from booking a house through Airbnb, and they say therefore prevented loss due to destruction from parties at these houses. I don't know, it's interesting. I mean, but you know what? How do you really know somebody's intention? What if I'm just booking a last minute stay for, me and my spouse to just get away for the weekend and it's close to home?
Sometimes you got to get away.
Right.
And sometimes it is last minute.
Like, what if we wanted to do a quick,
Don't
overnight
judge me,
in
AI.
Nashville?
I mean, really. Jen, do you want to talk pumpkins?
Sure, why not?
It's that
time of year.
It really is. So let's talk pumpkins. First of all, when do you carve them? Well, you can start carving them, I would say, Saturday into Sunday. However, there are a few tips and hacks that I've got for you that you might actually not know about. Now, when it comes to scooping everything out of the pumpkin, a lot of the times you get the big old spoon and you're sitting there and you're hacking away at all the innards and all the seeds and everything. I got a little handy hack for you. Use your hand mixer with the little spinny, put it inside, and just gently scrape it around the inside of your pumpkin. And that will actually help you get all the gook out of it really easily. Then you put your spoon in and it comes out just like that. Also, this was always a problem for me as a kid and still as an adult is. When you go to trace something onto your pumpkin to carve and you use that Sharpie and you have the black line and you got to carve outside of the black line and now your pumpkin doesn't look good, use a dry erase marker. Yeah, if you use a dry erase marker, you can carve along it, and then if you have any black lines that are left, it wipes right off with water. Now, how to keep it safe afterwards so it doesn't get moldy? You can use Vaseline, petroleum jelly, and you can also wash your pumpkin with bleach water, and that'll help prevent mold as well. So just a couple little things there as we're going into your Halloween weekend. You don't want them to have that sad, droopy pumpkin. These are just a couple ways to make everything last all the way through Tuesday night.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Winter stopped by to say hello Wednesday in the first snow of the season for parts of Oregon. It appears this pair of curious deer were making their own tracks next to what a car left behind. And snow blanketed the Missoula, Montana area as well, keeping company with blustery winds, also their first winter storm of the season. A large part of the state remains under winter warnings or advisories on Thursday.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Steer clear traffic time right now at 6:49. We're going to give you a live look at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Conference Drive here to start your morning. This is not far from Rivergate Mall. Good morning to Sumner County. Not too bad on the bypass right now. You know, the last few days this week have just been very congested, more traffic than normal, but not too bad here as we approach 7 o'clock. We'll check back in on the rest of your steer clear traffic in minutes.
Well, a salmonella outbreak prompts a recall of diced onions. The outbreak caused at least 73 illnesses in 22 states, including 15 hospitalizations. The recall covers some lots of diced yellow onions, 3-pound bags, and 8-ounce cups. It also covers 8-ounce cups of diced celery and onions, 10-ounce cups of diced onions, and 8-ounce cups of diced red onions. The affected lots had use-by dates between August 8th and August 28th. They are no longer being sold in stores. The CDC recommends checking your freezer or refrigerator for any of these affected products so that they can be thrown out or even returned. The United Auto Workers Union and Ford reaching a tentative labor deal last night. That agreement sets the stage to return 16,000 striking workers to the job here within a matter of days. UAW President Shawn Fain said his group's moves earlier this week to target strike profitable factories of 2 other major automakers made a difference at the bargaining table with Ford. The union expanded its strike Monday at Stellantis' largest plant, followed Tuesday by a strike at General Motors' Arlington, Texas plant. Ford said in a statement that it was pleased to have reached a tentative agreement. That deal reportedly gives union workers at Ford an immediate 11% pay raise and then pay hikes beginning at 25% over the next 4 years. The agreement does not go into effect until 57,000 rank-and-file members at Ford vote to ratify the deal, which could take more than a week.
It's an emotional time for me. You know, I'm emotional, but just super excited that this is over with and just can't wait to get back to work.
From what I'm hearing, it sounds like great news for us all. So hopefully we'll be back to work Monday.
Well, that strike has become the longest American auto strike in 25 years. The last time that the union went on strike was back in 2019. That lasted for 40 days, while today marks day 42 of this year's strike. That strike was only against General Motors in the past. All right, up next, get out your smartphone and get that camera ready for a chance to play our Trick or Treat trivia. It's next.
True or false?
Hey there, welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning at 6:54. We want to bring you in on the breaking news happening right now near Portland, Maine. This is just north of Portland, where the search is underway for the man who was accused in 2 mass shootings last night in a town of Lewiston. What we're looking at here is the huge police presence surrounding this bar. Scremenges, maybe that's how you pronounce it. Scremenges Bar and Grill. This is one of the locations where 2 mass shootings happened. At last check, 22 people killed overnight.
And as we know it so far, the suspected person of interest still on the run. Police are looking for Robert Card. He is tactically proficient, a licensed instructed firearms trainer with a military background. Very concerning, still on the run as of last check.
Yeah. So we'll monitor this live look. We have a station there in the area that is on the ground for us, providing us this live shot. We call them our sister stations that we work with across the country. So thanks to them for providing us this live look. We are constantly monitoring this story for you, and we'll be live and local through 9 a.m., but we will also continue to keep you posted on this big story here on your Thursday morning.
Well, 6:55 on your Thursday, and more than 20 dogs being treated here in the mid-state. They were actually rescued from a property out in West Virginia.
Yeah, and when you hear about what it takes to go into some of these situations to rescue animals, it may surprise you. This is the Animal Rescue Corps. They took in 14 adult dogs, 7 puppies from a property in McDowell County. Now, the property owner had said that his late mother had been feeding the stray dogs, but she recently passed away, and the dogs were left out there on their own.
Well, ARC says that they were able to lure the adult dogs into the pens using food, but reaching the litter of puppies under the home was a totally different story.
We picked one of our smallest team members, Marta, and we pushed her through a small hole underneath the porch, and she belly crawled all the way back there and was able to pull 7 puppies out of there that are about 4 weeks old.
Well, ARC says the dogs are now being treated in Gallatin. We're told after going through full health checks, they will be taken to local shelters and rescues to be adopted.
Hopefully they can get a good home quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, just a few minutes before 7 o'clock right now, and Greg is joining us to talk a little bit about the forecast and our dog of the day.
There's no way that I couldn't, because we love all of our 4-legged friends. We do cats of the day, we do dogs of the day.
Well, we all have dogs.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Grace May. Look
How
at
can
that
you say
face.
no to that face?
the wisdom in Grace's face right there. Thank you for sending this in, Kathy from Springfield. I'm told that Grace likes to play with the horses that are on the property. 64 degrees at 9 a.m., 76 at noon, and 80 degrees at 3 p.m. Maybe you want to get a dog walk in. Use the leash today and tomorrow, because the further we get into the weekend, the more we're going to see our temperature drop and our rain chances increase. 78 degrees at 1 p.m. Temperature going to top out right around 80 in the Nashville area. If you're out toward the plateau, you're going to be in the 70s. By no means a bad day. Right side of your screen, current temps are there. They'll stay with you. We're only a few minutes away from being the only live and local news source all the way through 9 o'clock, and we're going to continue to give you updates to Halloween and everything for Friday Night Football and the Titans forecast. Big home game. Send us your dog of the day. Facebook, you can see the little logo right there. That's where you go. Meteorologist Greg Bobus, you find that pinned post. I go in order, so it may take a little while to see your dog, but you will eventually see your dog of the day right here on Fox 17 News this morning.
Alrighty, Greg, thank you so much. Really appreciate that so much. You know, just bringing a little bit of positivity and sweetness to our morning. We do need that. All right, I-24 Haywood Lane, not too bad. After a week of messes on our interstates, y'all look to be on your best behavior this morning.
Look at everybody go.
I know. I don't even see
cruising right along.
Yeah, not even a lot of
Staying
traffic.
in their own lanes and everything.
Stay in your lane.
A+.
Stay in your lane. Also, don't forget to zipper. You know, the zipper method? Zipper method
right.
helps you merge around Nashville. So looking really good here in steer clear traffic. We'll give another check here as we get into our 7 o'clock hour. I like it, Megan. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
Right now, we're giving you the chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. It's part of our Trick or Treat Trivia contest.
Well, grab your phone and scan the QR code on your screen. You could win yourself a $100 Visa gift card. We're giving out free money here. Register to play our Trick or Treat Trivia contest. You get the question right, and you could win that daily prize, a $100 Visa gift card, or you could be in drawing for a $5,000 weekly winner. Wow. So good luck. 2 chances to win there.
I like it. All right, this morning, McDonald's fans might have to start saying goodbye to the McFlurry spoon.
Oh, the spoon. Yeah,
the
big
square,
chunky plastic.
Yeah.
The McFlurry spoon's going away. Reports say the fast food chain is slowly getting rid of the hollowed out plastic utensil in an effort by McDonald's to be more sustainable. According to reports, it's expected to be replaced with a smaller black spoon that uses less plastic.
Okay, hold on now. Don't give some flimsy spoon that you can't scoop the stuff out with and then it snaps off in the McFlurry.
That would be
You
the
know
worst.
what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Not all spoons are made.
That's right. Well, and remember the McDonald's spoon, it's also like the mixer. They mix it to the machine, it's the stirrer too.
So what do they do now?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, 7 o'clock hour starts right now.
McDonald's will figure it out, I'm sure.
Things that make you go.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Come out here, you're in front. You will not be harmed.
Now on Fox 17 News This Morning, a violent end to a 4-day-long manhunt in Nashville. Fox 17 News has learned new information about the son of Metro's police chief accused of shooting 2 police officers and stealing a car. He was found dead. We have more local reaction here this Thursday morning.
80s once again today, but by the time we get into Halloween, 80 to 48 degrees. We have big changes happening here in the forecast coming up as we roll into your 7 o'clock half hour.
And steer clear traffic, not too bad here this morning. Yeah, starting to see a few little backups, but we're going to get you around them, let you know if you need a detour in minutes.
Top of the 7 o'clock hour, and it is 59 degrees. I had to do a little double check. I'm like, what? Thanks for joining us here on Fox 17. And this morning, I'm Megan O'Halloran.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Yeah, it's a little bit warmer this morning than what we've seen the last couple of weeks, and that warming trend continues. We'll talk to Greg about that here in a moment.
I heard a crash, so I looked at my door. I don't open my door at night at all for nobody because it's too dangerous.
Wow. Well, new this morning, you're looking at video that neighbors believe it's John Drake Jr., Metro Nashville Police Chief's son, estranged son, crashing into a car there in the Edge Hill neighborhood just minutes before his death. Fox 17 News continuing to investigate and hear local reaction after this police shooting. The suspect here, again, the Metro Nashville Police Chief's estranged son, John Drake Jr., has been found dead. Investigators say it looks like he took his own life during that manhunt.
Now, Drake Jr., as Megan mentioned, the son of Metro Police Chief John Drake, and he was the person who was accused of shooting 2 Laverne officers when we go back to 5 days ago. That's how this all started. This past Saturday, officers had confronted him about a report of a stolen car. Laverne police had used a license plate reader to identify the car as stolen. They confront John Drake Jr. They said he pulled out a gun and shot both of those officers. Both of those officers are now recovering at home. Okay, so there's the update to that piece of the story. And in the meantime, we're going to continue to cover every angle of it. The impact to the community, the police chief himself, the Laverne department. We're going to take a closer look at this story with our own Amanda Chin. She's going to join us here in studio in about 7 minutes from right now. She's hearing more from local neighbors who saw this all happen.
Well, turning now to the high cost of homelessness, Hermitage residents urging city leaders to get busy after they say that some in the homeless community started a fire in the woods behind their homes.
And this has been such a concern because they cleared out this homeless encampment. People were coming back, and now we have this. So Metro confirms that the Hermitage encampment that we've been documenting is a top priority, but they say they cannot address this new encampment that's popped back up here until they address the people who moved out from camps earlier this month.
Well, it's a very delicate process, they say, to get people acclimated to the new living conditions, and it can also be traumatic. So they explain this process cannot be rushed.
You know, I guess when you think about it, people who have been chronically homeless, right, living on the streets for years, we have seen time and time again that it is difficult for them to get out of that way of life. Hermitage neighbors, though, you know, they're saying, well, what about us? Right? We live here. We're taxpayers. They say they want something done so that they can feel safe in their own neighborhoods.
Through the
the forest is in the back. You like one or two, you kind of see a little further down on the other side where they are kind of going in and out there. So it does make a little bit of a concern, especially at nighttime.
Fox 17 News has been relentlessly tracking the high cost of homelessness for years now, and we do it all across the mid-state. You can see our latest coverage over at fox17.com. Just search homeless.
Good morning. Time right now is 7:04. Taking a look here, getting out the door this morning here on a Thursday. Your bus stop forecast. Temperatures very warm. Don't get used to it. Enjoy it while it lasts, because we're going to be at 61 degrees by 8 o'clock, 64 at 9 a.m., and then 70 degrees at 10 o'clock. We have a partly cloudy sky that's building in for us here. But no rain. Nothing to worry about in that department until we get into tomorrow. Now, this is one thing. You only have 2 more days to do. I'm going to tell you right now. Boo at the Zoo, one of the coolest things that we've got here around town. Not the only, but really great for kids. You can dress them up in costumes, get them out there, trick or treat. You've got an area, 10 areas to get candy you can take home. And then again, see all the animals. And the weekend overall looks pretty good. 80 degrees today, 80 tomorrow, 82 on Saturday, 75 degrees on Sunday. Temperature's going to continue to slide, though, all the way down to 48 degrees by Tuesday for Halloween. We'll have your Halloween forecast coming at you in 5 minutes.
Greg, thank you. Steer clear traffic time right now. I would just like to give all of our morning commuters a round of applause.
Golf clap.
Golf clap. I mean, great job this morning. After a week of crashes every day in just about every part of town, I can happily tell you right now at 7:06 there are no crashes anywhere in the mid-state. Traffic flowing smoothly. I-40 at Central Pike, a little stacked up here, but that's just the volume. That's just people trying to get into Nashville. We're going to keep an eye on traffic for you and let you know as soon as anything does pop up and work to get you around it.
All right, 7:06 on your Thursday morning. Turning now to Operation Crime and Justice. A Nashville man with 2 prior DUI convictions now facing a vehicular homicide by intoxication charge.
Yeah, Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joining us live this morning from the intersection of Lebanon Pike and Jackson Downs Boulevard, where police say the crash happened and that man's passenger died.
Yeah, I spoke to a friend of 35-year-old Vanessa Schmidt, and that friend tells me that Schmidt was actually the girlfriend of the driver who was driving under the influence. Just a very heartbreaking story here. We want to show you, though, his mugshot. Now, this is 35-year-old Jason Dale Treat, now charged with vehicular assault and possession of a firearm while intoxicated. Again, with that other charge that Jen and Megan had mentioned. Police say he failed to yield to another driver who hit the passenger side of that Mazda 3 sedan, where Schmidt died at the scenes. Now, loved ones now are having to mourn her loss. Now, the friend that I spoke with is asking people to never drive under the influence and to call an Uber because these type of situations could be preventable. In Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Coming up, I will have how neighbors are reacting to John Drake Jr. being found in their neighborhood.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
New video this morning as the manhunt for the suspect accused of shooting 2 Laverne officers comes to an end after police say John Drake Jr. shot himself. Neighbors tell me at first they had no idea what was happening and had never seen anything like this before. But they tell me what happened is an unfortunate ending to a multi-day manhunt. Metro Police say John Drake Jr. had been involved in a carjacking and made it all the way to Edge Hill until he crashed into another car. You then see him in this video get out of the car and start running. Eventually, some neighbors heard SWAT team officers trying to negotiate with Drake Jr., but police say he shot himself. Neighbors who live nearby tell us as this was happening, there was a massive police response on their block.
I don't know what to think. I said I didn't think it'd be this close to home.
Now, some of those who lived in that Edge Hill neighborhood say officers made them leave their homes and go to a church across the street for safety reasons. Now, coming up in just a few minutes, we'll show you in more detail video and audio from the scene.
Thank you so much, Amanda. We'll be back with you shortly here and taking a look at your forecast going forward. Things get cold very quickly here. We're talking about Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Low temperatures, frost next week. The big chill will be on for us here. Low temperatures Monday, 40 to 51 degrees. Higher elevations colder, closer to Nashville, a little warmer. Same story on Tuesday, 31 degrees to 37 degrees. Percentage chance of seeing some frost, much better for Tuesday, and almost a guarantee on Wednesday. Low temperatures 25 to 31 degrees. Frost, freeze. What's the difference? Frost, temperatures drop below 36, they stay above 32. Freeze, temperatures drop below 32, and that's when it'll kill your plants straight out if you don't take care of them. Tomorrow will be that day leading into the weekend where we take a look at all of your plant safety. What does this mean for Halloween, though? I'm talking about a big cool down and frost and freeze. Your Halloween forecast for trick-or-treating, middle 40s will be your temperatures as the kids are out there. Possible overnight freeze and frost, maybe an extra layer underneath the costume. I always recommend maybe like an Under Armour shirt or something that's thermal insulated so it can keep you warm but you don't have to mess with or get the coat to cover up that costume. And coming up here, your commute on I-24 is looking pretty good. This is I-24 at Haywood Lane. However, this is that time of the morning when everything begins to evolve. We'll take a look at your steer clear traffic in just about 5 minutes to get you into or out of Nashville. And we're also following breaking news from overnight as 2 mass shootings killed and injured dozens of people in Maine. We'll let you know what we know as far as the suspect that is still on the run.
Are you tired?
It's going to be spare time recreation for an active shooter incident. And that's going to be the town of Lewiston at spare time recreation for an active shooter incident, multiple people down. Have PD on scene, but the suspect is still at large.
Just chilling dispatch calls there. The search right now still on for the suspect accused of those mass shootings up in Maine. Authorities say more than a dozen people are dead. Many others are injured, and residents in the area have been advised to shelter in place.
I was just checking to see whether we have any new updates from the police department in Lewistown, Maine. We don't have any right now, but we are monitoring because we know they're on the ground and in the air currently searching for the man who they say is responsible. Maine Senator Angus King, President Joe Biden, all have offered help to the state as they deal with this very active situation. We're going to bring you the updates as the story continues to unfold. Listen to this. Mount Juliet woman goes to a funeral home to honor her grandfather. But there's a big problem. His body ended up switched with another man and was buried in another state. Police report these 2 men had both been transported and embalmed, and then somehow the Mount Juliet woman's grandfather was taken to a Kentucky funeral home and buried there 2 days later, right? I mean, this is the stuff of nightmares. Right now, we understand that efforts are underway to figure out exactly how this happened and to rectify the mix-up. I'm not sure how you rectify that.
Right.
But nonetheless, we understand that work is being done now, so we'll let you know as soon as we get an update from the family.
I mean, can you imagine if they didn't take the time to lift the casket? They would have never known.
No.
Wow. No. Well, in other news this morning, state officials warning mid-state businesses and residents about a scammer in disguise. The Tennessee State Fire Marshal's office says this man is going around to local businesses claiming to need to inspect the fire suppression system. Take a good look at this picture here. Do you recognize this guy? What he doesn't have, though, is a license to do any of this work that he wants to do. They say this fake inspector has shown up in Tullahoma and McMinnville. If you know who this guy is or you know about any of these suspicious activities, call that number there on your screen. It's 615-532-6391, or you can contact your local law enforcement agency.
You know, we've been telling you here on Fox 17 News this morning about the drought, incredibly dry conditions right now. Thanks to that drought, we do have a burn ban in effect in all of Rutherford County. Now, this is an interesting update because yesterday we told you Brentwood had put a burn ban in effect, and now we have Rutherford County, all of the county doing the same thing.
Well, that means no campfires, cooking over an open flame, or burning things like leaves, of course, cigarette butts as well. That ban will remain in effect until those dry conditions improve, because we're really parched right now.
We are, in such a deficit. Greg has shown us this morning that, what are we, like 2 inches in the red when it comes to rain?
And that's just this month.
Yeah, wow.
So what we're going to do next hour, so stick with us, is look at the new drought monitor that drops right at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And compare it to last week. It comes out every Thursday morning. So we're going to take a deep look at everything that's been going down here. Now I want you to look up tonight because we have our next full moon. The harvest moon that'll be out there tonight. It peaks on Saturday, but with a good chance of increase in clouds and possible rain on Saturday. It might not be as easy to see, so do it tonight. And now, why do we give them these names? It's very simple. Every single month, the moon has a name. And it's the same name every year because they were named by Native American tribes. When the moon would be full, this was the hunter's moon, because this was the beginning of their hunting season to lead them into the winter months to stock up on food. Tonight is the best chance to see it though, so keep that in mind. Let's get you some breakfast. Maybe some bacon and eggs, biscuits and gravy if you want to go southern, maybe some grits. 64 degrees at 9 a.m., 70 at 10, 74 at 11 o'clock. And this is going to be a good morning, going to be a good afternoon. We have some rain that's breaking up to our west. This is not our next weather maker. It could give us a couple of showers tomorrow, mainly in southern Kentucky, with the bulk of that rain going to slide to the north. Our best chance for rain, that is going to come as we go into Sunday night into Saturday. Look at the 7-day. You got to look up. This is an aggressive 7-day when it comes to a temperature shift. 80 degrees today and tomorrow. No change day to day. 82 on Saturday. Still looking good. Shower chance, minimal in Middle Tennessee, a little bit better in Southern Kentucky, as you just saw. But Sunday, this is the pivotal day where everything changes. Look at these numbers. 75 degrees goes to 52 to 48. Within 72 hours, we will go from 82 degrees to 48. We saw your Halloween forecast. Well, we're going to talk about costumes. Pumpkin carving. We've got a lot of other things. The big chill and big freeze. A lot of things that are coming your way in the next couple checks of the forecast.
Alrighty, Greg, thank you so much. Appreciate you as always. Steer clear traffic. A moment ago, we're giving you a round of applause because we're just proud of y'all. I mean, you guys have been up and at it this morning.
Look at you go, Tennessee.
I know, and on your best behavior. Same thing, I-65 at Long Hollow Pike. This is typically a spot that does jam up for commuters coming into Nashville from north of town, but y'all are rolling right along. Speed limit, maybe even a little bit better. And I'm doing a quick check right now of the entire mid-state and even Southern Kentucky. No crashes. Great job, y'all.
Yeah, you gotta be proud of that.
This is the good stuff, right?
Setting the right tone for this Thursday morning.
That's right.
Well, the Tennessee Titans will host an interactive girls flag football field day. Details on how you can join the fun next.
I wonder if my daughter's watching and feeling the impact, or could we be in the clear? Still to come, we're going to take a look at the cost of gas prices here in the mid-state and how you can save a little bit of money. We're watching out for you. Hey, welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Happy Thursday. 7:24 is your time. Listen up, football fans, as we take a live look over at Nissan Stadium right now. We're looking ahead as Tennessee State will take on Lindenwood October the 28th. That's this Saturday. And then the Titans are going to play a home matchup Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. So I know we do have the chance for a little bit of rain this weekend. Doesn't look like a washout. So we'll check in with Greg here and see how things are shifting along.
It's manageable and needed.
Yeah.
All right, 7:24 here on your Thursday morning. Get ready to play like a girl. What we mean by that, the Tennessee Titans and the nonprofit Play Like a Girl teaming up for a good cause.
There's been such a piqued interest recently with regards to flag football and girls playing. And our Fox 17 photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is on the scene this morning at Nissan Stadium. We can already see some folks up and about over there. So this flag football event will provide an opportunity for girls to run flag football drills with Titans players.
Oh, how cool is that?
Awesome. They can do hands-on activities, listen to a discussion featuring women who are leaders in the industry, in the sports world. So women who are from Bridgestone, the Titans, and other groups as they share their insights on their journeys as women in the sports industry. So that event is today. Those speakers start around 9 o'clock this morning.
What a cool event and what great weather for it here. It's going to be really nice out there at Nissan Stadium. We're going to have temperatures that'll probably be right in the mid 60s right around 9 o'clock and then take us to 80 this afternoon. Let's talk about your weekend. Get you right to it because things change. And I mean big changes. First of all, we've had a lot of fall color change. I was driving all around Middle Tennessee over the last couple of days and man, the colors are starting to pop. This is that week where we're going to get the big change. And go see them this weekend if you can, because the small rain chances lead to our last warm days and a lot of cold air that could kill and make a lot of those leaves drop off. So this is your weekend to do it, I'm telling you right now. Then we have next weekend where all the daylight changes. 7:12, your sunrise on Saturday next weekend. 6:13 on Sunday. 5:48, your sunset on November 4th, which is Saturday. 4:47. You might not even be home from work before the sun sets on Monday the following day. So that's this time of the year when we're going to get cold and lose the daylight at the end of the day very quickly in the coming weeks.
Greg, thank you very much. Steer clear traffic continues to be no major problem this morning. It has been so refreshing, right? I feel like every morning we have to come on and steer clear traffic and tell you, oh, there's another crash. Oh, you got to take a detour. But that's not the case this morning. Yes, it is backed up on I-24 at Haywood Lane, but this is your normal congested morning commute. Okay, you could take Murfreesboro Pike if you wanted to as a detour, but honestly, this is just that stop and go traffic as you make your way into Nashville. We are currently crash-free in Middle Tennessee. That feels good to say.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds good to hear, too.
Yeah.
Well, 7:27 right now on your Thursday morning. Despite global tensions causing ripples through the oil market, the national average for a gallon of gas continuing to dip. AAA reports that gas prices across Tennessee are averaging $3.12 a gallon. All right, let's take a look around the Nashville area. Speaking of, we want to make it easy for you to find the lowest gas prices in your area. Just go to fox17.com, click on the Fox Fuel Gauge. We'll help you out, save you a couple bucks at the pump.
Continuing coverage right now, coming up at 7:30, so 2 minutes from right now, we're going to get a better understanding of the final chapter in the John Drake Jr. story and how things all played out here in Nashville.
Travel, there is nothing.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning, and thank you for starting your Thursday with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
I'm Megan O'Halloran, bottom of the 7 o'clock hour, and a lot of local news to get to. We are your local news source from 7 until 9.
Top story that we're following right now is in Operation Crime and Justice. We have a man with prior DUI convictions, 2 of them, who is now facing a charge of vehicular homicide by intoxication. Rather serious story that ended up in the loss of life for one woman.
Well, Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joining us live from the intersection where friends have been impacted after this deadly crash. Kylie?
Yeah, Megan, and those friends tell me that Vanessa Schmidt, she's a 35-year-old Nashville resident, that was actually her boyfriend that was driving the car that night. Now, we are at that intersection. We want to show you there is a memorial site laid out here. You can see flowers, a photo of Vanessa, a candle that's lit, as well as a wine bottle. So we just wanted to show you guys that right there. But this is at the intersection of Lebanon Pike and Jackson Downs Boulevard, where police say 35-year-old Jason Dale Treat made a turn but failed to yield to another driver while lights were flashing yellow. Now, once released from the hospital, in addition to vehicular homicide, Treat will also be charged with vehicular assault and possession of a firearm while intoxicated. Officers say that Treat smelled strongly of alcohol upon a search of his car. Police did find an open beer bottle on the driver's floorboard along with a loaded gun in the sedan. Now, police identified that woman again as 35-year-old Vanessa Schmidt, and this is a crash that friends say, could have been preventable.
There's no reason in this day and age not to get an Uber. It's not that hard. And just remember you're responsible for other people. It's not just you. And you can really ruin lives by making a simple mistake.
Now, as of right now, there's still no word as if Dale has gotten out of the hospital. We'll continue to check up on this, and we'll have any new developments for you guys when they become available. At Lebanon Pike, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, Dakota Red Station.
Well, thank you, Kylie. You can sign up for our Fox 17 newsletter. Just go to fox17.com to also get more stories like this.
7:33 Thursday, getting close to the weekend, getting close to Halloween. Daylight saving time ends, and boy, do we get cold real quick. Not this morning, though. Jogging forecast, if you're a morning runner, today, tomorrow, and Saturday, your last really comfortably warm mornings. Then we get really cold really fast. Look at Monday morning, Tuesday morning, and Wednesday morning. Frost, not likely on Monday, but temperatures that will be 40 to 51 degrees. Higher elevation, lower temperature. Tuesday, 31 to 37, frost likely. And I almost guarantee you that we get frost going into Wednesday, 25 degrees to 31 degrees. We're going to be cold, and a weather maker moves in to shuffle in all of that cold air. Look at your 7-day forecast. 80 degrees for your Thursday and Friday, 82 on Saturday, Sunday into Monday. Best chance for rain. We'll time it out. We'll look at what it means for Halloween, and I've got some pumpkin carving tips for you, too, if you're getting that game going with the kids over the weekend.
Alrighty, Greg, thank you so much. Steer clear traffic time right now. We're going to take you west of Nashville and check out the scene at I-40 at American. Steady flow of traffic this morning coming in from Bellevue. We don't see any backups, no crashes, nobody's, pulled over to the side of the road with car trouble to get in your way. We have had an absolutely fantastic morning commute so far, minus just some of those known slow zones, right? But you can work around those. You don't need the detours. We're just looking really good in steer clear traffic. Good morning to all of our friends in Dickson, Kingston Springs, Pegram, and Bellevue. Your morning drive is looking great. We have an update this morning as the search for the man accused of shooting 2 Laverne police officers comes to an end, but it led to a statewide manhunt. People having to lock themselves inside of their houses in Nashville as the search was underway.
And hitting close to the Metro Nashville Police Department as well. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin has reaction to what happened from people living in that specific neighborhood.
Dimple Blackman lives right next door to the backyard John Drake Jr. had been at. But before that, Metro Police say Drake Jr. had been involved in a carjacking and made it all the way to Edge Hill until he crashed into another car. You then see him get out of the car and start running, something Blackman saw.
I heard a crash, so I looked at my door. I don't open my door at night at all for nobody because it's too dangerous.
Blackman says the whole street had been blocked with dozens of police officers.
It's really crazy because I'm still in my house and the police, they knocked on my door and asked me, you okay? I said, yeah.
Eventually, Blackman says officers sent her to the church across the street. Anna Matlock lives just a few houses down. In this video, you hear SWAT team officers trying to negotiate with Drake Jr.
It was concerning, but it was also reassuring to know that they wanted to have some kind of peaceful resolution as to what was going on.
Before knowing what actually happened, Matlock had a feeling it had something to do with Drake Jr.
I kind of figured that it was that situation, just considering the amount of police presence that we saw. It had to be a very serious incident that was going on.
But Matlock says it's unfortunate the way it all turned out, with police confirming Drake Jr. died after he shot himself.
Oh, Amanda, heartbreaking story there. I hate the way that it ended. How was it out there talking with neighbors?
Yeah, so I spoke with a lot of neighbors out there. Of course, some of them didn't feel comfortable going on camera, but everyone told me that this is something that they'd really never experienced before. I mean, you saw in the video the amount of SWAT team officers that were out there, the massive police presence, just something that was very surprising and shocking for all of those neighbors to see.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
So now here they are, left to kind of pick up the pieces. It's a traumatic thing that played out in their own backyard, and trying to move forward.
Oh, of course. And then we also just received into our newsroom the 911 call, the woman whose car was carjacked by Drake Jr. We just received that 911 call. I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll be sure to share kind of what she was experiencing at the time. I'm sure traumatic and very scary.
There's still more to learn there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda.
This morning, 7:38 is the time, and as we go over to the Nashville Zoo, we can see some new members of the family. Yep, we're going to tell you the story about the new tiger cubs just born.
Just makes me want to take a nap.
I get asked what it
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Steer clear traffic. We got a lot of cars out there, but no problems on I-65 at Moores Lane. So yes, we've got that volume. No, we don't have any crashes. So good morning to you in Williamson County. Your drive coming up I-65 is a little stop and go. I wouldn't say it's worth a detour. We're going to monitor things for you, let you know if we see anything that is concerning that would require the detour. That's why we're here for you. Your live local news source through 9 a.m.
Well, 7:41, if you're just waking up with us, check this out. 3 critically endangered Sumatran tiger cubs born right here in Nashville at the Nashville Zoo. The cubs, born Friday, they have been with their mother, Anne, in a private den. International Union for Conservation of Nature says there are only about 400 to 600 Sumatran tigers left in the wild. Wow, so a rare glimpse of the species there. And in a few months, the babies will be ready to go outside, and guests will be able to see them at the Tiger Crossroads exhibit.
They're precious.
They really are.
Snuggled up with Mama.
I know.
Well, hey, speaking of the zoo, Megan, Greg has pulled up and put in a few notes for us.
You called him Brett again.
Oh my gosh, Greg. Greg, I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Now she's just poking the bear.
Somebody send me home. Brett was with us for several days, and it also takes me time to get used to not calling him Greg. Right, so Greg has put together
equal opportunity. She called Brett Greg too, okay?
Yes, equal opportunity offender, okay? Boo at the Zoo, what to expect. We do have lots of events for those kiddos. Monster Mash dance floor. They've got a scary go-round carousel. They have 10 trick-or-treating stations and some special animal shows. Now, just a quick reminder, because we got a little derailed there, but Megan was showing us the tiger cubs. They will not be out in time for Boo at the Zoo, but you can see them later, and lots of other animals will be, out there for you. It's 7:43 right now, and Fox 17 News trying to get the quarterback questions answered. Who's going to be under center for the Titans against Atlanta Sunday here at home? If Ryan Tannehill can't go, who's it going to be? We're going to work to dive into that in minutes. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It is 7:45, and we're giving you a live look right now from Maine. We have a sister station on the ground there, WHDH. We can see the police department from Lewiston, Maine, where sadly 2 mass shootings happened last night. They've got this road blocked off, but for the most part, the entire town of Lewiston, along with other towns just north of Portland, Maine, are shut down. People have been told to lock themselves in their homes and not come out while they try to search for the man they think is responsible.
Yeah, Robert Card is his name. A manhunt still underway since last night. Area schools locked down and closed today as police hopefully close in and get their person of interest. Again, police asking folks impacted in Maine to continue to shelter in place.
All right, this morning back here at home, we are getting ready for a big matchup coming up Sunday. Our Tennessee Titans coming off a bye week, okay, so they're rested. But when we play the Falcons Sunday, the biggest question is, who's going to be our quarterback?
Yep.
What's up with Ryan Tannehill? Is he going to be ready to go?
We're playing quarterback roulette at the moment. Ryan Tannehill says that his right ankle sprain is trending in the right direction, but he did not practice, so leaves some questions.
Does.
And now we've got the backup quarterbacks, Malik Willis and Will Levis. Will they swoop in? NFL Network, Ian Rappaport, he reported that rookie Will Levis will get the start, but Coach Vrabel didn't confirm that, will not name the starter just yet.
I never said that Will was going to be the starter. Both of them will play if Ryan can't. We'll see how Ryan feels. He may do a little bit of work later in practice today. but that's how we are. That's where we're at right now. I think just getting more comfortable. I think both those guys got good work in, really good work, and whether it was third down or 2-minute red zone, some of the stuff that we were able to cover last week.
All righty, you heard it from Coach there. Now, Tannehill did not practice yesterday, as Megan told us. Neither did tight end Josh Weil due to a concussion. Good news, though, wide receiver Traylon Burks, who has been out with a knee injury, did practice in full. Defensive lineman Tara Tart and Jeffrey Simmons, both practicing in full as well. Of course, all of this comes on the heels of Kevin Byard leaving the team in a trade to the Phillies.
A little bit
not the Phillies, but the Eagles in Philadelphia.
Doesn't matter anymore. They left us, right?
He's gone. That's right.
A little bit of a scramble here. Last minute, the team picked up safety Kevon Wallace off waivers after being released by the Cardinals, and this comes after, of course, that big trade that Jen was talking about.
Well, you know, a lot going on, a lot still to be worked out. We got a couple days to go. We're here at home, so that's the good news. And we will
recalibration.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no doubt going to be tough to replace Kevin. A guy who has meant a lot to this organization, to the city, to this locker room for as long as I've been here and before that.
Kevin, I mean, that's my brother for life, no matter if he's here anywhere else. I mean, obviously I want him here, but that's the business side of football. I wish him all the best. You know, some guys got to step up into his role. I think the best safety ever play here.
Well, there you go. Hearing it from King Henry himself. So we'll follow the Titans developments. Also wanted to let you know with regards to basketball, the 2023 NBA season getting underway this week. The Memphis Grizzlies playing the New Orleans Pelicans for their season opener. The Grizzlies led by 3 after the first, but the Pelicans pulled away, able to hold on to the win. The Grizzlies star Ja Morant starting his 25-game suspension. Won't be back until December. It is approaching 8 o'clock, and I think that Greg's mom and dad are still in town. We believe this to be true.
And if they're not, I'll make sure that they get to see.
Greg, you know, as y'all probably just heard in my flub when I called Greg Brett, Greg's been off for a few days, and your family came to visit.
Yeah.
Your mama is the sweetest thing. The last time she was here, she left me a sweet note on my desk.
Aww.
Just precious. And today we come in and we have special deliveries.
That's so nice.
In the form of these little Albanese gummies.
Straight from the actual manufacturers, like.
Greg, before you took off for the last several days, you asked us if we wanted anything. Tell us your connection to this candy factory.
10 minutes from my hometown. Now you can find them in your local grocery stores. Those literally were off the conveyor belt.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Mama Bear brought the
original.
bears.
Mama Bear brought the gummy bears.
Aww.
She's so sweet.
You guys had a good time when you were in town?
The best time in the world.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mom and Dad, for coming into town. And now I want to turn to a big thing for the weekend.
Okay.
Because this is that pumpkin time.
Yes, it is.
Well, we got to know exactly what to do because you want to have that awesome looking pumpkin sitting right outside, lit up when the trick-or-treaters come. How to pick them? Well, go do it right now. How to store them? Don't leave them in direct sunlight. When to carve? I would say Sunday or Monday, and they'll look great. However, once you carve them, they immediately begin to deteriorate a little bit. One handy tip, though, you know the hand mixers you've got? You know how tough it is or how annoying it can be to scoop out everything on the inside of the pumpkin? If you use a hand mixer gently around the outsides of the middle of the pumpkin, it'll knock everything down and then it just kind of falls out. Also, when you're going to be out there and tracing everything on your pumpkin, it was always a problem for me using the Sharpie, and then you go to cut it out and the black marks are still there. Try erase markers. You can wipe off the extra black after you cut out all the decorations on your pumpkin. Oh, and one thing to keep it from molding, regular old petroleum jelly. Get the Vaseline out. The areas that have been carved, put it on there, and then you're going to be good to go. As far as the trick-or-treating forecast goes, well, we're going to look at that, and we're going to meet this sweet pup and the story here in our Dog of the Day coming up in a few minutes. In the meantime, here we go. 80 degrees on Friday, 82 on Saturday, 75 on Sunday, and 52 degrees will be your temperature on Monday into Tuesday with a big cool down. So plenty more coming your way here. Next check of the forecast.
Thank you, Greg. Let's look at steer clear traffic. It's 7:52. Ooh, look at the sun glare.
Get those sunglasses out.
We like to say that's the necessary accessory.
That's right.
For your day. But kind of jammed up here, I-40 at Spence Lane, especially in that middle lane. I don't see a crash here. I do think this is just part of that slowdown. You know, as you're approaching this intersection, there's a big bend in the road, and so you get that big brake check, plus interstates are merging. So I do see that it is at a standstill right now, but not, you know, I don't know that it's worth a detour. Just have some patience. This is going to impact you if you're coming in this morning from Donaldson, Hermitage, Mount Juliet, or Lebanon. Looking around the rest of the mid-state, I do see a slowdown up at Trinity Lane, which is pretty normal. Slowdown in Laverne this morning on 24, typical. A little bit of a slowdown coming in from Bellevue right now, coming up by 251, and like the Charlotte Pike area down in Bellevue. So we'll keep an eye on traffic for you. So far, it's been a great morning. We'll see if that trend continues as we get into our 8 o'clock hour.
All right, 7:53 right now, and looking ahead to Friday. It's tomorrow. You're almost there. And it's the last regular season high school football game. Our Friday night rivals game features Ravenwood and Brentwood High. Starts at 7 o'clock. You can watch it on our sister station, MyTV 30. Then after that, at the World Series, you can check out all the highlights from the best matchups on Football Frenzy Live.
All right, and let's take a look at the World Series Game 2. We got Game 1 Friday and then Game 2 Saturday. So both of them going to be at 7 o'clock right here on Saturday. We've got so much sports action for you. It's kind of hard to keep up. But just to recap for you, we've got high school football, World Series Friday, World Series Saturday night. We've got college football Saturday during the day, 11 a.m., Oklahoma and Kansas. And then the second game of that doubleheader is going to be Oregon and Utah. That's at 2:30. And then Megan, NFL action Sunday.
That's right. On Sunday, we've got a pretty good NFL game for you. You can watch the 4-2 Cleveland Browns take on the 4-2 Seattle Seahawks. So pretty evenly matched. You can watch it right here at 3 o'clock on Fox 17.
And it's about to be your last chance to win our Trick or Treat Trivia Contest. We're giving away the $100 Visa gift cards plus a $5,000 weekly grand prize. So get your phone ready. We'll give you the code to win.
And here's an extra bonus. What else Garth Brooks is doing for fans beyond opening a new honky-tonk downtown?
We want to say thank you to our...
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning, 7:57. Let's head over to the website and see what is trending. And the number one trending story is the national headline of the man suspected in 2 mass shootings in Maine last night, taking the lives of at least 16 people. There are some reports that there may be as many as 22 people who have died. So even though that's a national story and we're live and local through 9, we've been keeping you updated on that because it is such a big story. We'll continue to do that coming up in our 8 o'clock hour. And right now is your last chance to win some spooky good stuff here on Fox 17 News.
That's right. And this time we are hosting a trick-or-treat trivia.
Do you know a lot about Halloween? Maybe
like the history of it?
Yeah.
All Hallows Eve, I think, right?
Put it to good use.
Okay, well, grab your phone and scan this QR code for your chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. On top of that, you can register to play our trick-or-treat trivia contest. You get that question right, you could win the daily prize. So that's a $100 Visa card. And then there's a weekly $5,000 drawing as well. So you entered for both. Then you can laugh all the way to the bank.
That's right. That'll get you a lot of groceries.
Well, with inflation, yeah.
Okay, maybe 2 grocery
runs.
You're
right. Hey, it's always better when it's free if you're not paying for it.
That's exactly right.
Or you can use it for the or like the candy after Halloween.
Oh,
that's right. That's
on sale.
Move right
the discounted candy after Halloween. Maybe that's the route you go with it. Taking a look here at your Halloween forecast. And we're going to be in the 40s during the afternoon. We're going to still be in the lower 40s during trick-or-treat time. Frost and freeze overnight Halloween going into the following morning. It's going to be cool. Find layers to put underneath the costume. Hopefully something that's thermal and insulated so you can still have the costume over it. But just get that going over the weekend to make sure that you're good to go heading into Halloween night itself. I'll tell you right now, we've got rain that moves in for the weekend. We're going to track that. We're going to look ahead to your 7-day forecast as soon as your 8 o'clock half hour starts.
All right, Greg, thank you so much. So let's get back into steer clear traffic here. A moment ago just showed you the backup. I-40 at Elm Hill Pike.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, a little bit of a stack up here on I-65 at Moores Lane. Let me just check here real quick behind the scenes to see if we have anything that's really slowing you down. I mean, I do see, let's see, I see a backup here coming up toward Concord. Let me just make sure there's not somebody that's like, pulled over to the shoulder or a fender bender somewhere, but I really don't see anything. I do think this is just the morning commute, just a little bit of extra traffic. So give yourself a few minutes before you head out the door, or stick with us. We've got you covered for the next hour, live through 9.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Come out here, you're in class. You will not be harmed.
Now on Fox 17 News This Morning, we are getting new information after the violent end to a 4-day-long manhunt in Nashville. That new information, new 911 calls after the son of Metro's police chief accused of shooting 2 officers and stealing a car is found dead. More local reaction.
A woman is dead and a man with prior DUI convictions now facing a charge for vehicular homicide by intoxication. More on that coming up.
And a new look at our drought monitor. It is not pretty. When we can finally see some rain in the forecast and a much bigger cool spell taking us into next week in your Code Red forecast.
All right, top of the 8 o'clock hour here on your Thursday. We'll get you all caught up to speed before you head out the door this morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan O'Halloran.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be here for you live through 9. Right now, our top story.
Card is considered armed and dangerous. If people see him, they should not approach Card or make contact with him in any way.
Well, the search is on for the suspect accused of the mass shootings up in Maine last night. Authorities say more than a dozen people are dead, many others are injured, and residents in the area have been advised to shelter in place.
Now, according to a statement from Maine Senator Angus King, President Biden has offered federal assistance to that state. Again, reminder, this is a live active manhunt, and I do believe that's what we're taking a look at here. Bear with us, folks. Live TV, this is our crew on the ground, WGME providing the shot. It looks like they are in place with law enforcement right now as they work to get in position. One of the locations that police have either cordoned off or blocked off as the search is underway. Now, I do want to let you know that we are expecting, coming up in about an hour and a half, we are expecting to hear the latest from investigators. We've got the FBI, we've got Maine State Police, we've got all kinds of local law enforcement on standby right now to get us those updates at 9:30 our time.
Turning now to Operation Crime and Justice, a Nashville man with 2 prior DUI convictions now facing a vehicular homicide charge involving intoxication.
Yeah, just a sad story. As Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker is joining us live from the intersection of Lebanon Pike and Jackson Downs Boulevard, where police say his passenger died. Kylie, I understand you've had a chance to talk with some of the people very close to this.
Yeah, I actually was able to speak with 35-year-old Vanessa Smith with her friend since high school. Now, she does tell me that the person that was driving the car at the time of the crash, where she was a passenger, that was her boyfriend. They had just got back together after taking a little bit of a break. They got back together just days before. It's just a very unfortunate situation, very sad. If you take a look, you could see this memorial right behind me. You see a picture of her, a candle, a wine bottle, and also a variety of flowers. Now, I think we also have that mugshot of 35-year-old Jason Dale Treat. He's now charged with vehicular assault and possession of a firearm while intoxicated, along with that first charge. Now, police say that he failed to yield to another driver who hit the passenger side of Treat's Mazda 3 sedan, where Schmidt died at the scene. Loved ones now have to mourn her loss, and they feel that this could have been prevented. Now, the best friend that I spoke to, who we're going to hear from in just the next 30 minutes or so, she does tell me that she wants to get the message out to people to never get behind the wheel while intoxicated, and to always just order an Uber or get a ride if possible. In Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Good morning, 8:04, and brand new news here in the Weather Center, and it's not good. Talked about it all morning, how at 8 o'clock they issue a brand new drought monitor. Our colors are getting brighter and brighter. The hotter the color, the more of a drought you have. Everywhere, essentially everywhere south of I-40 is in a severe drought. What does that mean? It means that it's poor air quality because there's not a lot of moisture in the air. Corn can be severely stressed. Thankfully, we're not in that portion of the season, but burn bans have been put in place. I would not be shocked if more do get put in place. That's to prevent any wildfires. We've got a lot of foliage still out there, so keep that in mind. Where are we at when it comes to how much rain we have and how much we need? We have had 0.3 inches of rain so far this month. That's less than 2.5 inches more rain we needed just to catch up to this point. Now, we are 7.5 inches below what we should have seen for the entire year. Coming up in the forecast, we're going to look ahead to how much rain we could possibly see by the end of this upcoming 7-day forecast. 80 degrees today and sunny. Enjoy it. But a cool down and a weather maker that will bring at least a little relief coming up in your forecast.
Thank you, Greg. Let's take a look at steer clear traffic where we have had a little bit of relief in our morning commute. The only exception right now is this I-40 at Spence Lane, which is really jammed up. Now, I'm just going to check here while we take a look. I don't see any crashes here. I do think this is just the result of high volume and people really slowing down trying to get through this merge point with I-40 and I-24, which is right up ahead. Also, I'm noticing something that looks like it could be a little bit concerning down on 840 near the Paytonsville Road exit. So we're going to look at that and get you an update south of town. We're going to go down to the Williamson County, Murray County line in minutes.
Your time right now is 8:06, and turning to the high cost of homelessness, Hermitage residents are urging city leaders to get busy after they say some folks within the homeless community actually started a fire in the woods behind their homes.
Yeah, Metro leaders telling us that the Hermitage encampment is a priority, but they say they cannot address this newest one that's popped back up again until they address the people who moved out earlier this month and appear to be coming back. Okay, that's the issue here. But they say it's a delicate process trying to get all these people out of the homeless encampments and get them acclimated to living in new conditions. They say it can be traumatic for people who, for example, might have been living on the streets for years. So they are trying to explain that the process can't be rushed.
Well, Hermitage residents, on the other hand, are hoping that this happens soon so that they can get a sense of security and feel safer, especially in their own neighborhood.
Through the forest is in the back, you like one or two, you'll kind of see a little further down on the other side where they are kind of going in and out there. So it does make a little bit of a concern, especially at nighttime.
Received the 911 call from the woman police say John Drake Jr. carjacked before his death.
Can we get a grip and lift it up?
We have video this morning as the manhunt for the suspect accused of shooting 2 Laverne officers comes to an end after police say John Drake Jr. shot himself. New, we are also getting a glimpse at the 911 call a woman made after police say John Drake Jr. hijacked her car. Now, we do want to warn you, this call could be difficult to listen to. Metro Police say John Drake Jr. had been involved in this carjacking on Antioch Pike. Police say at first the suspect asked a man for a ride, but replied saying he did not drive. He then walked over to a neighbor sitting in her Chrysler 200. That's when Drake Jr. held her at gunpoint and forced her to get out of her car. Here's some of that 911 call from this woman who can be heard crying and shaking as she's talking to the dispatcher.
And some guy just robbed me at gunpoint and took my car. I just got robbed at gunpoint. He took my car. I don't know, like.
Just emotional to listen to. And now after Drake Jr. stole that car, officers attempted to stop that vehicle until Drake Jr. crashed into another car, fled the scene, and hid in a shed in Edge Hill where he eventually shot himself. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Amanda Chin, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:11 your time, and let's take a look at your forecast for the day ahead here on a Thursday. We're starting off right side of your screen, 50s and low 60s on our way to 64 later on this afternoon. 70 by 10 o'clock, and then eventually upper 70s to right near 80 by 3 into 4 o'clock later on this afternoon. So very warm, very comfortable. Breezy, though. You're going to feel the wind pick up a little bit later on this afternoon. Keep that in mind as you're heading out. I promised you this. Future rainfall. This is the next 10 days. Now, I mentioned that we only had 0.3 inches worth of rain the entire month so far. Well, we might not even get up to a full inch by the end of this month into the beginning of next month. These numbers are very low for a 10-day forecast when we have multiple chances for rain in the forecast. So keep that in mind. We're going to track a few showers through southern Kentucky for your Friday and Saturday, and then a batch of rain that could clip portions of Middle Tennessee Sunday into Monday coming up in your forecast. And we have lucked out so far this morning. Your commute has been looking pretty good so far. Jen and Megan, they got you covered. We'll show you the Bellevue Drive-In just coming up in about 5 minutes from right now. And in just a few minutes, stick around. Comedian and actor Chris Tucker will join us here live on Fox 17 News this morning to talk about why he's here in Music City.
The Fresh Timer starts.
Well, listen up, all you football fans. Here's a live look at the Titan Stadium. Oh, man.
Well, I'm kind of distracted, but I'm distracted by the spider webs glistening on the camera here. Not gonna lie. Yeah, Nissan Stadium this morning looking good. We're gonna look ahead because Tennessee State, TSU, is going to play Lindenwood coming up this Saturday at Nissan Stadium. Then they're gonna clear it out, and the Titans will play that home matchup this Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. That is a noon kickoff.
Words are hard.
Hey, listen, you know I understand.
It's about 8:15. It's about that time.
Yeah.
Well, happening tonight, actor and comedian Chris Tucker brings his nationwide tour to Nashville, and he's appearing at the Ryman Auditorium.
It's that Chris Tucker. Yeah, the one you're thinking.
The one.
The actor, the comedian. He starred in movies like Rush Hour, Friday, Fifth Element, most recently Air about Michael Jordan. Chris, good morning. Welcome to Nashville.
Good morning. Good morning. What a beautiful day here in Nashville. I can't wait for the show tonight. I'm looking forward to it on my Chris Tucker The Legend tour, and I'm just happy to be here.
Chris, I got to tell you, you look the same and sound the same, just like you did all those years ago, but you are not the same man that you used to be. How so?
Thank you. You know, well, I'm older now. I was young. I mean, people knew me started doing like Fridays and Def Jam comedy and Rush Hours, and now I'm a little older, a little wiser, and a lot better. I'm like fine wine; I get better with time. So it's a lot of fun now.
I think the ladies would agree. We have a few here in studio behind the scenes who are like, "It's Chris Tucker, yeah, that Chris Tucker." Now, when you come to the Ryman tonight and you perform, you said, you know, a lot of people know you from Def Jam. Your shows these days not quite the same.
Yeah, you know what? I got a lot to say. You know, like I said, I've grown up since you know me from Def Jam. A lot to say, a lot of experience. A lot of stories of my life, and man, it's just a great show. And I'm turning this into a movie, this stand-up show into a movie. So you're gonna see a lot in this. So you'll be a part of the process of when this comes out as a movie next year sometime.
Well, you got a lot of fresh new content, Chris. We've looked at you've got a very accomplished career. I always wonder with stand-up, it takes so much intelligence. What is it? The art of humor. What do you think it is that makes people funny?
I think just looking at, you know, the bright side of life, you know, looking at finding comedy out of any situation, experiencing life, you know, comedy, you got to experience life to find the comedy in it. And yeah, it's you, and you got to be happy yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to be happy. You got to think of all the good things in your life, and then take that to the stage, you know, in a lot of ways.
All right, so speaking of taking it to the stage tonight, we understand tickets are still available. For anybody who's coming, should they just expect to be like called out or picked on or anything like that tonight?
Oh, you know, it's a live show, so you can expect anything and everything. Yeah, so just be ready to have a lot of fun.
All right. Well, we're glad you're here in Nashville. Hope you have a great experience at the Ryman. What a venue, by the way.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, great spot. Chris Tucker joining us live here on Fox 17 News this morning. Good luck tonight. Break a leg.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's got good energy. That's going to be a good show.
Yes, he does. He reminds me of that phrase, no bad days.
Yeah. And I like his approach to comedy, too. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves to laugh.
I mean, and also like the definition of create your own positivity. You know, make your own sunshine, as Jen would say. Taking a look here, we got some sunshine for today, but I'm bringing in, not necessarily gloom, but I'm bringing in some chill. Do you know where your winter coat's at? You might want to find it. For Monday morning, Tuesday morning, and Wednesday morning, we have temperatures that are going to be very cold here, right near frost area, Monday night into Tuesday, and then Tuesday into Wednesday, and Wednesday into Thursday. We are gearing up for definite frost, maybe even freeze. What's the difference? Well, 36 degrees, when you get below that, that means you're getting a frost. Hurts plants, cold. It could give you a slick spot or two, but we're not at the freezing point just yet. So even if it does rain, if we don't get below 32, we're not going to see things freeze over. However, yeah, you just saw in the last graphic that we're going to have some areas that have temperatures that go below 32 to Wednesday night into Thursday. Now, that means that we're going to have areas that we could potentially see a little bit of ice when we get out the door the next morning. So we're going to watch it very carefully. Rain chances, they increase late Sunday into Monday. Then we cut it off Tuesday into Wednesday, but that rain that moves in brings in this. We'll go from 80 degrees today, 82 degrees tomorrow, and I've updated the temperatures here since the last half hour. Still cool, but I'm giving us an extra little click here. We'll go with 82 on Saturday, 75 on Sunday, 52 on Monday, and 48 degrees on Tuesday. Maybe you are going to the Ryman this evening. Enjoy yourself. Temperatures will be in the 70s through sunset and into the 60s when the show's letting out.
Sweet spot.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with that. 8:20 right now, steer clear traffic. Hey, we got our first issue of the morning, trying to figure out if we've got 4 cars involved in a wreck here. It's kind of what it looks like. Briley Parkway at Ashland City Highway. I was just in this area last week. A little congested right here coming through, but the good news is it doesn't look like it has a huge impact to traffic. It is off to the right shoulder, but again, 4 cars pulled over. TDOT's on the scene. This is really the biggest issue in steer clear traffic for the morning. We'll take another check around town and get you updated in a few minutes. It's 8:21, and we've got the World Series right here on Fox 17 this year. Really excited to bring you the battle between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Both teams have gone decades without winning it all. You can watch it starting tomorrow night right here on Fox 17. The Friday night matchup starts at 6. We'll have the entire series. Game 2 will be Saturday at 7.
Well, heads up, we have a scam alert this morning as one man is walking around allegedly pretending to be a fire safety inspector. How to keep you, your business, and your money safe.
Some days, just getting your...
It'll be good luck. 8:24, let's get a check at some of your local news headlines this morning. State officials warning mid-state businesses and residents about a scammer operating in disguise. Listen to this. The Tennessee State Fire Marshal's office says that this guy who you see on your screen right here is apparently going around to local businesses claiming that they need an inspection and a new fire suppression system. Well, guess what? He doesn't have a license to do that kind of work. They say that this fake inspector has shown up in Tullahoma and McMinnville. If you know anything about this guy, you know who he is, you recognize him, or you've heard of or have been involved in these activities, know what we're talking about here, you're asked to call police, 615-532-6391.
It's 8:25 right now, and we want to go down to Franklin this morning. So a heads up for you in Franklin that because of the drought conditions, the Franklin Water Management Department is now asking everyone to conserve water. This is relatively new development in the mid-state as a result of our drought. So they're suggesting that you do things like only water your plants in the early morning or after the sun goes down. Check your pipes and your hoses for any kind of leaks. And they're asking you to only wash your car at the car wash, not at your house, in order to save water. Now, we also know, new this morning, Rutherford County just announced they've put in a burn ban, and the same thing for Brentwood. So these incredibly dry conditions, Greg, have led to several localities making changes.
Yeah, and our new drought monitor, I showed you it right at 8 o'clock. Things have gotten worse. We have not had a lot of rainfall. We've only had 0.3 of an inch of rain so far this entire month. Yeah, we have a little bit of a relief, a couple of chances for some rain that we're going to dabble in here going into 8:30. That'll give us a new look at Future Track too. But right now I got a new look at your dog of the day. Well, not a new look, but a new dog of the day. Taking a look here. We have Grace May, and this is a beautiful doggo, just over a year old. 64 degrees at 9 o'clock, 76 at 12, 80 degrees at 3 p.m. Good morning, good day, good evening for a dog walk. Temperatures up to 80 degrees by 3 p.m. And then we're going to slide back into the 70s for this evening, the entire day. Maybe you don't have a dog, but you want to get your own exercise outside. This is a day to go for it because next week, much colder in the mornings and rain chances do go up. Facebook, you can see the logo right there on your screen. That's where you go. Meteorologist Greg Bobus, the pin post right there. You'll find that picture. That's where you post. And Megan, oh yeah, not a whole lot of relief coming our way, but we will look at any possible chances of rain coming up next half hour.
Steer clear traffic right now. Want to head out back to the current crash that we're tracking, Briley Parkway at Ashland City Highway. Police are now here. So we've got local police, we've got TDOT, and all kinds of people outside of their cars. It looked to be at least 2 cars involved, which we can see here. Previous camera shot showed us 4. You can see it's not having a huge impact on traffic, but if you travel in that Briley Parkway, Ashland City Highway area, just know that this is happening right now. And we're going to give you a check real quick at the congestion on I-65 at Trinity Lane. This is a standard backup, no crash here. We'll give you another view in your morning commute in about 5 minutes.
Well, next at 8:30, gotta love Dolly. This morning we'll have a unique opportunity to hear from the makers behind the seams of a global superstar, Dolly Parton's iconic outfit. We have an exclusive interview next.
At Readers. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
A woman is dead, and we're told it's her boyfriend that's facing several charges for driving under the influence.
Waking up this morning, sun glare, your biggest problem on the roadways as you get out the door, but no rain in the forecast for today. We need rain. We'll talk about a good look at Future Track here and a few chances for it coming up in your Code Red forecast.
Greg, you said sun glare. Here you go. This is part of it. This is the morning commute right now on I-40 over by the airport. Yeah, you definitely need the shades and that sun visor today. Back up at Nashville International Airport, starting to stack up a little bit. We'll keep you posted in Steer Clear traffic for the next 30 minutes.
One lane of traffic has traffic envy for the other, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that the worst when you're just sitting in traffic and you're looking, it's
watching everybody flying by?
Oh, yeah. Well, 8:31 here on your Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan O'Halloran.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get right to our top stories new this half hour. We begin with Operation Crime and Justice. A man with prior DUI convictions is now facing a charge of vehicular homicide by intoxication. And we are seeing, as the story unfolds, all of the lives impacted.
Well, Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joining us live there at the intersection where it happened. Friends say it was actually the girlfriend who was in the vehicle that died in that crash. Kylie?
Yeah, that's what I'm being told, that 35-year-old Vanessa Schmidt was the girlfriend of the driver. I'm also told by her friend, one of her best friends since high school, she tells me, that Vanessa Schmidt was also a mom to a very young girl. Now, we're standing here at the intersection of Lebanon Pike and Jackson Downs Boulevard. You see that memorial right there, this site at the intersection. Photo of her in a frame. We have that wine bottle, 2 different bouquets of flowers, as well as a candle that was lit a little bit earlier as well. Now, this is where police say that Jason Dale Treat made a U-turn but failed to yield to another driver while lights were flashing yellow. Now, once released from the hospital, in addition to vehicular homicide, Treat will also be charged with vehicular assault and possession of a firearm while intoxicated. Now, officers say that Treat smelled strongly of alcohol upon a search of his car. Police also found an open beer bottle on the driver's floorboard and a loaded gun in the sedan. Now, it's a crash that one woman says was preventable.
There's no reason in this day and age not to get an Uber. It's not that hard. And just remember, you're responsible for other people. It's not just you. And you can really ruin lives by making a simple mistake.
Now, as of now, there's no word as when Dale Treat will be released from the hospital. This is something that we'll continue to stay up on. On Lebanon Pike, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:34, quick look at your forecast. Up and out the door here this morning to temperatures that are very unseasonably warm. We're talking about 64 degrees at 9 o'clock, 70 degrees at 10, and 11 o'clock. We'll be at 74. That means if you have any outdoor plans when you have to just say get up and out the door to go anywhere, maybe it's errands or you just want to go for a stroll, we look good. Sneak peek ahead to Halloween, the day of 40s. Today will be right near 80. How do we get from here to there? We're going to look at that. Meet your dog of the day. Many things coming your way. I have pumpkin carving tips for you as well. We're going to look at future track, future rainfall, and look at that. 80 does go to 48 degrees on Tuesday. We're going to follow that progression for you.
Okay, Greg, thank you. And we're following this crash and steer clear traffic right now. Briley Parkway at Ashland City Highway. Police, TDOT on the scene. A lot of people out and about milling after what looks to be a 2, 3, maybe 4-car crash. It doesn't look like there are any serious injuries. I have not seen an ambulance show up. But just for a little bit of reference here, this is Briley Parkway at Ashland City Highway on the west side of Nashville, so north and west of Nashville. It's currently our only crash in the mid-state. The rest of your morning drive is actually looking really good.
Well, new this morning and happening today, the makers of Behind the Seams of global superstar Dolly Parton's iconic outfits will appear at Lipscomb University as part of the school's annual Fashion Week industry panel discussion.
I mean, when you think Dolly, the icon, right?
The name says it all.
Right. I mean, it's synonymous with her own style. This is all in conjunction with the upcoming fashion exhibit called Dolly Parton and the Makers, My Life in Rhinestones. If you had to count the number of rhinestones that have ever been applied to any of her outfits, I think we'd lose count. Joining us live this morning as we talk about outfits from her storied career on display and being talked about, we have gallery director Jamie Reschke. Good morning, Jamie. What's it like working this closely with the queen herself?
Good morning, ladies. Thank you for having me. It has been an honor. It has been a pleasure, and her team are a complete class act and complete professionals, and it has been a joy to work with them. It has been inspiring, and I am excited to be here.
What would you say about the outfits through the decades? Have you seen an evolution there?
Absolutely. There are plenty of rhinestones, beading, everything is covered with gems and jewels. There is nothing that is not sparkly. There have been some amazing designers and makers throughout the years that she's had for decades, and they've done some amazing work.
Now, curious about this panel discussion that is happening tonight. Is this something that the public can come be a part of?
So the public, yes, can come be a part of, and they're welcome to come and hear the various makers and other professionals behind the scenes come talk about their process and the kind of steps that it takes to get to this point and to have a wonderful fashion book and all of extras.
Well, Jamie, this is such a unique collaboration. What do you hope is the takeaway from tonight's panel?
I really hope that people that come get a more inside look of, the time, the hours, and all of the people that are behind the scenes, and they get a taste of what it's like in this kind of element of the fashion world. And it takes a lot of people to make Dolly Parton be Dolly Parton, and I just hope all of them can be honored and everybody gets a bit of insight into that world.
Well, she is a legend. Her fashion over the years, legendary. So just a quick reminder, that panel discussion, 5:30 to 6:30 tonight. This is in the John C. Hutchison Gallery at Lipscomb. And then we've got more stuff coming up too, October 31st through December 9th. So we'll make sure we got all this information posted for you over on our website, fox17.com.
Well, that's awesome. What a great opportunity there.
I want to say thanks for joining us at Fox 17 News this morning, a live look at Nissan Stadium. We're going to tell you about the Titans and their latest venture with girls flag football. Still to come.
Because my dog's a pit bull, it's got
Hey there, welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We're going to check a couple of news spots and steer clear traffic. I want to give you the all clear on Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. Really a nice commute this morning. Not a whole lot of congestion, not too many backups, no crashes, which is much better than what we've seen previously this week. So looking good here at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. Not as great I-24 at the Silliman Evans Bridge. I'm looking to see if we've got a crash anywhere here. I don't see it, but this is a known backup point. This is where I-24 comes around by Nissan Stadium, which if you look dead center top of your screen, there's Nissan Stadium right there. So definitely a backup here if you've got to get around the 24 loop of downtown Nashville. And maybe just give yourself a few extra minutes and pay attention. Put the phone down. Right? You don't want to rear end the car right in front of you because everybody comes to a screeching halt.
Not the way to start a Thursday.
Certainly not. We'll check in again on Steer Clear Traffic in a few minutes.
All right, 20 till 9, and get ready to play like a girl. The Tennessee Titans and the nonprofit Play Like a Girl teaming up, all for a good cause.
Yeah, you know, this sport has really gained a lot of traction here lately. This event will provide an opportunity for girls to run flag football drills with Titans players. They're going to have some hands-on activities. By the way, thanks to our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey, who's out there live this morning. I love the look here. Bridgestone is also making a $20,000 donation to flag football to support initiatives in the greater Nashville area. Yeah.
So here's the lineup. At 9 a.m., the welcome remarks will happen, and then they'll have an icebreaker activity at 9:20, a leadership panel at 9:55, then a STEM activity at 10:45, football activity, that they get to that at 11:45, then closing remarks, and that'll be the end of the event.
How fun.
And coming up here, today looks great. So all those activities at Nissan Stadium are fantastic. But look at the left side of your screen. I'm tracking the next weather maker that brings in rain and a big cool down in your Code Red forecast.
And continuing coverage this morning, a better understanding of the final chapter in the story that involved Nashville Police Chief John Drake's son, who some say, you know, that was the video of him crashing his car and running away. We're hearing the 911 calls. New in moments.
Class, window.
New this morning as the manhunt for the suspect accused of shooting 2 Laverne officers comes to an end after police say John Drake Jr. shot himself. We are getting a glimpse at the 911 call a woman made after police say John Drake Jr. hijacked her car. Now, we do want to warn you, this call is difficult to listen to. Metro Police say John Drake Jr. had been involved in this carjacking on Antioch Pike. Police say at first the suspect asked a man for a ride, but he replied saying he did not drive. He then walked over to a neighbor sitting in her Chrysler 200. That's when investigators say Drake Jr. held her at gunpoint and forced her to get out of her car. Here's some of this 911 call from the woman who can be heard crying and shaking as she's talking to the dispatcher.
He asked me for a ride. I told him I don't have any gas and I can't go anywhere. He just told me to get out of the car at gunpoint.
Now, after Drake Jr. stole that car, officers attempted to stop the vehicle until Drake Jr. crashed into another car, fled the scene, and hid in a shed in Edge Hill, where he eventually shot himself. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Amanda Chin, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
And good morning. Here we are taking a look at your forecast, and we're getting to that time of the year where we want to talk all things that are fall. What do we do as we move through the next couple of days? We're carving. We want to know what we're going to do with the seeds inside of the carving. Are we going to maybe put them in the oven and bake them? They're rich in vitamin K. They're cholesterol free. They actually may help improve sleep. They're healthy in antioxidants, so that's also good as well. I want to get back to the story about our next weather maker here. Taking a look, we have a weather maker off to our west, attempting to move in. Now, it's not going to get here very quickly. You can see that rain dying down hour by hour as it moves closer to us. So I'm going to hop in front of the green screen here and take a look at future track as we've just popped up a new model run for you of what's moving in our direction. And you can see this moves our way very quickly, but it stalls out a little bit. What I mean by that is it slows down every hour it gets closer, and that weakens it a little. Now, tomorrow and Saturday, if you're in southern Kentucky and far northern middle Tennessee, there's a chance for a few showers that'll be out there for you. Best chance for rain is going to be Sunday night into Monday. That is our big weather maker. big cold front moves in. What I mean by big cold front is it's not wider or longer, stronger. That's going to bring in the rain chance, no severe weather, but it brings a big drop in temperature. We need rain. Our drought monitor has gotten worse since last week. Take a look here. Future track, this is a 10-day outlook. This goes all the way into next week. If we're lucky, we get close to an inch of rain in Nashville and almost nothing in our southern tier of counties. So we're not going to put a dent, and that's where the worst of the drought is, south of I-40. So we're going to keep our eyes on that for you here as we go through the rest of this week and into next week. 80 degrees today, right side of your screen. You're starting off in the 50s and 60s. We'll do one final check of your 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Greg. It's your clear traffic at 8:48 right now. It's about time for that morning stretch.
Oh, yeah.
Stretch it out, get moving. If you're going to hit the road, good news, no big problems.
That's motivating.
I know, right? This is good stuff. So I-65 at Concord Road, really nice flow of traffic into Nashville this morning. No problems at all. We'll get you a final check of any traffic issues before we go off the air at 9 o'clock. Tennessee Titans fresh off their bye week and get ready to host the Falcons coming up this Sunday. Biggest question right now, and we know this, who's going to be our quarterback? Will Ryan Tannehill get the start? Well, he's got an update, at least according to him, on that ankle sprain.
Yeah, he says it's trending in the right direction, but he wasn't at practice. So a lot of question marks there.
Yeah.
So that leaves backup QBs Malik Willis and Will Levis. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, he reported that rookie Will Levis will get the start. Coach Vrabel not confirming that.
I never said that Will was going to be the starter. Both of them will play if Ryan can't. We'll see how Ryan feels. He may do a little bit of work later in practice today. But that's how we are. That's where we're at right now. I think just getting more comfortable. I think both those guys got good work in, really good work. And whether it was third down or 2-minute red zone, some of the stuff that we were able to cover last week.
Well, Tannehill did not practice yesterday, neither did tight end Josh Wild due to a concussion. Good news, though, wide receiver Traylon Burks, who has been out with a knee injury, practiced in full.
We've got Jared Hart, who had a toe injury, who practiced in full. Jeffrey Simmons, also Big Jeff Simmons, practicing all out along with Chris Moore. So some good news here. Of course, we've lost Kevin Byard. So they're going to have to regroup and get ready for Sunday.
Yeah, bit of a shuffle there. Well, we're following breaking news. 2 mass shootings killed and injured dozens of people up in Maine. What we know so far as that suspect still on the run this morning.
Fox 17 is
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We have a live look from WGME from Maine as there is a whole slew of investigators arriving right now at this location as they search for the man who is the person wanted, a person of interest, wanted for questioning after 2 mass shootings just north of Portland, Maine last night. So our crew's there, Megan, watching a whole lot of first responders coming into this area. Wonder what they've got going on right here.
Yeah, our sister station, WGME, their crews have a camera on the ground there, an all-out manhunt in the state of Maine and maybe surrounding states as well. We haven't heard much about the latest on the search for Robert Card.
No, other than to say, you know, we've got schools that are closed today. We have businesses that have shut down. We have neighbors who are being told to lock themselves in their homes while teams look for this man. The latest reports on the death toll, at least 16 people dead, perhaps upwards of 22. Some reports, we've got dozens more in area hospitals who are recovering. Folks who were just minding their own business, going about their night at a bar. Other people at a bowling alley. Now, we've been mentioning throughout the course of the morning that there is going to be a news conference at 9:30 our time. I just want to make sure I'm confirming with our executive producer here. We are going to carry that live on Fox 17. All right, so we will tap into that at 9:30. We'll also keep you posted on our social media platforms throughout the course of the day.
Well, back here at home, a man facing vehicular homicide charges after a deadly crash in Hermitage. Police say 35-year-old Jason Shreet was driving drunk Saturday when he failed to stop at a flashing yellow light near a Target store in Donaldson, hit by another car. His girlfriend, 35-year-old Vanessa Schmidt, a passenger in his vehicle, killed. Treat has 2 previous DUI convictions. He is also charged with having a firearm while intoxicated.
Hermitage neighbors tell Fox 17 News they want city leaders to do something about a homeless encampment because the people living there most recently apparently started a fire in the woods that threatened their homes. In fact, Metro leaders tell us this encampment is a problem. They also say it's a priority, but they claim they can't address the issue of people coming back and causing problems until they address everybody who has already been moved out in their housing situation.
Well, they say it's a very delicate process, getting people acclimated to a new living condition, and it can also be traumatic. So they explain that the process cannot be rushed. However, the flip side of this, Hermitage residents who are saying not in our backyard, they are hoping that something can be done soon to make them feel safer in their own neighborhood.
One last check of your forecast here as we get up on a Thursday here and work our way toward the weekend and the upcoming holiday. Yeah, Halloween, a couple days away. Hope you know what your costume is. But taking a look here, one little last tip for you if you're going to carve your pumpkin later today. You can use a hand mixer to dig out all the goop.
Okay, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you can use a dry erase marker instead of a Sharpie.
I did learn that from you this morning.
It wipes right off.
That's a pro tip.
Amazing.
Enjoy your day. 80
Here's
degrees.
today's America's Steals and Deals. Have a good one.